All right. Welcome back, everyone. We took a 1 week break, but now we're back, and welcome to a series of Wonders events. I'm your humble DM Robin. Joining us today by Nathan, play as our Asmar Paladin Viking, and Kat, play as Tolly, our Wood Elf Rogue. Unfortunately, one of our companion, Stefan, he won't be joining as Riveni today because of his sickness, but I trust we'll be good because he handed me all his notes. So yeah, let's see what the future holds. Alright, previously, the team kind of went through a lot actually. So basically, Viking found out a bit more about what the cultists are up to during his not so cliche but cliche coma. He saw through the vision of maybe a dead corpse, whatever that is, from underground, from inside of the portal that was once open to a different plane that is barren and dark and horrifying. But still, he's kind of those things. Nothing are unheard before, but it's still kind of worrisome now that he knows a bit more about what their actual plan is for him actually. And they went back to Evergreen Mansion, found Maria with a dozen of coffins. Apparently the guards were all dead, so they kind of took on her advice and take some food and drinks and rest, and nothing really happens during that time. They basically clean out the whole town. However, they were trying to figure out where Nine went. As it turns out, Nine went directly to the teleportation circle or the temporal disturbance area to try to, once again, as it seems, to find out a way so he can get back home. So the team, as a good token not to left behind a member, they kind of went after him, and they encounter a nice little puppy. However, they kind of got stopped by the puppy, a little bit embarrassed, but nothing really, nothing can't be solved without with Cora on your side. And then they kind of reactivate the teleportation circle in the hopes of getting Nine back and just go on their way to fight the cultists. However, as the circle appeared, they saw that Nine is already on the other side, and apparently he's been surrounded by a bunch of dwarfs that looks like Bob. And Tully, being the kind soul of the team, tried to help Nine and leap over the portal, and in the process lost her throwing glaive. Well, the team, seeing no other options, could just jump right through it, and finds that the portal kind of blocks their. It's kind of a one-way ticket, so now they're kind of trapped and trying to find another way back to where they originally are. However, as they are surrounded by the dwarfs, they were lucky because apparently Viking tried to do his fear thing and tried to scare away the thugs. It sort of worked. As it turns out, he dropped the wrong name at the wrong time, and the worshipper of the Raven Queens appeared out of nowhere and kind of chased off the mobs. And luckily, Nine is back into his home turf, and he also appeared to be one of the Raven Queen's worshippers, and managed to talk down the priestess in the hood. So, right now, let's go back in. You guys are staring at Nine as well as the priestess that are standing in front of you. There are two of them, covered in long robes and everything. Just you couldn't really see their faces. Yeah. What would you like to do at this moment? Uh, I'll just go first because Rivani specifically told me to do something. So, I'll roll for her actually. Let's see. Rivani. So, Rivani, trying to inspect things on the background and just starting to investigate the teleportation circle, just trying to figure out what they are, why they're doing what they're doing, basically. All right. All right. Uh, as a result, she can't really figure anything out. Yeah, she's kind of frustrated and just kicking the teleportation circle repeatedly. So, what are you guys doing right now?
I'm gonna like. It looks like Nine has this in hand, right?
Sort of. They're kind of having a nice conversation with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to gracefully bow out and just back up to where Lavinia and Alethea are lying on the ground.
Yeah.
Just
Those two are like still unconscious right now, so yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna like basically stay near them.
Mhm. Okay. So what about you, Viking? What are you doing at this moment?
So you said that I dropped the Raven Queen's name,
Yes.
and is what's his name still here? Nine?
Yeah.
Is it Nine?
Yeah, 9 is still.
I'm like, dude, you didn't tell us you were a worshiper. We thought you were just like a weird druid or something.
He turns around and like kind of looks at all of you in semi-worried state, and then he says, let's better continue this conversation elsewhere. Follow me." And he kind of usher you guys like to move along with him. Do you guys follow?
Yep.
I'm gonna pick up Lavinia and I'm going. Nine, please tell me this involves a stop on the way to a temple.
You can say that, but not in the ways you'd hope.
She needs
We
help.
are not entirely safe on the streets, and so I promise you I'll get her to safety. Whatever has happened to her, I trust that we can find a way to help her. But right now, we better get going.
Oh, okay, I trust you.
All right. And he like waves you guys and like to move along with him. And all right, right now, hold on. You finally you got the first. It's about the first time you got a proper look of the surroundings. It is quite amazing, actually. You never see anything quite like this before. The city is a living work of art, a vibrant, beautiful city where anything seems possible. Optimism, innovation, and the spirit of creativity fuel the intoxicating renaissance of invention and artifacts across the city. Its inhabitants seems like having this assert that anything can be built, and brilliant inventors can be seen almost everywhere. You see clockwork automatons walking along the streets, acting as servants, bodyguards, sentries, or even pets. A soaring airship just across your sky. You can see almost every house that are like have a certain altitude have like sort of a small port that reaches out for small airship to dock on the side. And you also see like a bunch of like flying maybe like patrols or sentinels maybe just like soaring through the skies. You never seen anything quite like this before. Also you see like at the top like really, really high up in the air, you see crackling energies, like instead of like really uh aggressive or like anything, it just kind of flows within the air, and you see like kind of like workers maybe with mechanical wings on their back, just fly up high up in the air, trying to mine or whatever it is they're doing to harvest this kind of energy from like a small not a small from a large looking tube of sorts. It's almost like they're working inside of the glass tube that seeps directly into the energy. Elegant interlocking gear mechanisms rise and lower the sky bridges you saw across the place. Between each probably districts or something, you see far off lands that are not entirely just probably just not entirely connected, but only through the sky bridges. You also see that on the outer brim there seems to be clouds underneath your feet. So yeah, you're walking in amazement of this vibrant city as Nine keeps on ducking into like curvier and like deeper, smaller streets, finally into a small housing on the side of the road. Moving you guys towards here, right? So, right now, you guys are on the streets and seeing all this as you walk around. Nine kind of brought you to one of the house, right on the middle of the street. It's not a really large house per se. It's been through probably renovation, and like it's age, it's old, and the place looks like it still looks kind of alive. However, it's not a newly built building. And on the side, you see like kind of people walking past as if they're having some sort of a celebration. You're not entirely sure what they're doing though. But on the front of the place, you see two dwarves just kind of knocking on the door and just kind of shouting, cursing or whatever. Does anyone know Dwarvish?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you just saw those two dwarves just kind of knocking and yelling, and Nine kind of...
Klingon, yes, but not Dwarvish. I said Klingon, yes, but not Dwarvish.
Klingon, yeah. Alright, so you see Nine intentionally avoid them and lead you guys to the back, and you see him knocking on the door like about two or three times, and someone just appear out in the like kind of peering through sort of a spyglass or whatever it is, like it's looking through the peephole, and says, "If you're looking for trouble, this is not the place." And Nine just kind of says, "Father, it's me." And you heard the man's voice says, "Oh, okay, come on in." And he opens the door. You see a kind of a decent looking old man like that is standing right in front of you. He's got this white hair and mustache that looks he's a man that witnessed a lot of things in the past, and quite experienced in handling, well, what life dealt in his way, so to speak. So yeah, and he looks at all of you and says, not looks, sorry, the most distinguished part about him is that you notice his eyes is fully covered in white, and with the lack of like focus, you think that he's probably blind. Yeah. Token. That's what it looks like. And he says, I don't think you're alone, right? I heard multiple footsteps. So are these your companies? Nine just kind of he nods at first, and then he thinks you think he realized that, oh wait, shit, I've been dealing with people with normal sights for too long, and he just says, yes, father. And then the man just kind of says, all right then, come on in before the doors give us further troubles. And he locks the doors behind him. So 9 leads you guys to sort of like a living quarter, and then he kind of relaxes. You can see the tension kind of lifted from his shoulder, and he says, all right, maybe put her on the bed. And like he leads you, Tolly, to put Lavinia on a proper bed on the other side of the room. Viking, are you still carrying Alethea?
Yeah.
All right. So he also leads you to the room. Like the bed is big enough for 2 to lie in. So yeah, and yeah.
I'm a little bit more aggressive in dropping her. I'm like,
okay, yeah.
Because I'm like,
yeah, you're gingerly putting Lavinia down. But yeah. So 9 just kind of looks at you guys and says, so mind sharing what happened? Because when I first left, she wasn't like this. And he pointed at Lavinia and Alethea. They are not like this.
Ravani, I think we should let you describe the current events.
Ravani's like, still, she's so amazed by all the sightseeing on the road. She almost wandered off a few times, but eventually,
like
9, 9 also grabs her on the collar. She's like a puppy, like trying to see everything. But yeah, she's probably still amazed, and she heard that, and she's like, what?
It's alright. I guess, long story short, Dracolich. It was bad.
9's eyes widen as he heard the word Dracolich. You notice that the old man that was that invited you in also lifted one side of his eyebrow, and but he kind of keeps to himself, just not saying another word.
I don't even. I just go, thank you for even letting us in your home.
Always. The last shelter is for anyone who in need for, well, a safer way to hide or whatever. I trust you got your stories. You're not the foul sorts I've just had in my front step. And he chuckles a little bit.
We've met them. They're not kind people, but you are, so thank you. Anything I can do to help you to repay this.
Yeah, and he kind of puts his hand on his chest and says, Father Tobias, Dwayne, at your service, and also just call me whenever you need anything. Now, if you excuse me, I have a bunch of kids to attend to, and you heard that the sound in the back of the kitchen, kids just yelling and kind of having a good time, but not in the ways adults would hope. And yeah, so he walks up to the back, and leaving the room to all of you. 9 kind of nods and kind of returns the gesture to the father when he's gone, and he just looks around and nods to you to continue the story, to urge you to continue the story.
The portal we went to investigate, it spat out a Dracolich. We managed to close it on it, but not before Lavinia got hurt. Vikine saw more of the other side than I did. He can tell you, but and then Alethea's fine. She'll be up in a minute. This poison is something we used on her to stop her from hurting herself.
As you said that, you noticed
you remember? Yeah, you.
I don't know what happened.
Alethea
that
just leaps.
Hit her head.
The moment she's up, she looks around and sees Viking and leaps towards.
I'm jumping in the middle. I'm catching it.
Yeah, so you both fumble in the ground. What is that for?
If it was a good roll, it would have been another stick with a different arrow. Just like, just drops.
Unfortunately, in the rage and you're in a hurry, so yeah, you do not.
If I was like really good at it, it'd be like,
yeah, you'll be like, wham, a second chance. But yeah, Rainy kind of gives out a scream when she, like a little scream when she sees all this, and yeah, you two, Tully and Alethea just kind of fumbles in the ground, just like, why won't you? Let me just.
Alex, stop!
Just
like,
choke
Alex,
him.
Please. Please.
Do you know what this man did to me? Do you?
Yeah, but you're alive. I don't fault him for it.
You notice that the same familiar frustration you saw on her face when in childhood you guys always whenever you guys argue when you got the point she's like doing this why you got the point but I'm still so angry kind of like yeah it was like fine. So is the portal destroyed?
It's closed, not destroyed.
Okay, that means we still have a chance to return. Where are we?
I gestured a 9. 9?
9 just points through the window. Alethea just goes through the window and look outside, and she yells at the moment she saw the streets and everything up in the sky. She's like, yes, I'm back. I'm finally back. And she just kind of jumping and screaming and like laughing, and you see tears in her eyes. It's definitely not been a like pleasant tour. Yeah, it's been a rough few years, maybe a couple more years for her. Yeah,
I said we'd find a way to get you back, and we did. I'm not gonna break that promise.
Praise the Raven Queen for all of her might. We found a way back. And you
slept through it.
Yeah. She's like, she kind of turns around and looks at Lavinia, seeing that she's still unconscious. Her face quickly turns towards concern, and she's like, will she be okay though?
She's still alive, but we're running out of time to find someone to help her. You're from here. What do you... Please, Ali.
All right. For the poison, we can go see Mom. We can go see my mother. Your aunt. She's very good at alchemy and all sorts of things.
The curses are bigger priority.
The bastions will definitely let us in. I mean, if I show that the symbol of our family, they'll definitely let us in. You notice that she's starting to talk real fast, and then you see 9 puts out a hand and just pats her on the shoulder and just stops her and says, I don't think we should be throwing Raven Queen out that often. And he looks at the 2 other. You notice that the priestess that was with you, there is only one left with you. Like, they were walking along the way, and one of them kind of slipped through your gaze and just duck into seemingly nowhere. Right now, there's only one left, and you heard a voice saying, "Could I please take out this ridiculous outfit?" And 9 just kind of sighs and says, "All right, fine. We're in no danger right now, I guess." And you all see like a feline creature kind of shakes off whatever the hood is covering her and just like looks down upon you and says, "So, finally."
When he's like, I can finally like take this outfit off, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And I like start undoing my pants. And
no,
then like
not
I catch his hand.
you, moron.
when I see his face, I like
It's a
freeze
her.
and my pants
Yeah.
just finally drop. Like
Yeah.
I don't move anymore, but
Yeah.
it's just awkward.
Oh no, Dex check. I'm catching that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Make a dex check for funsies. Let's see if you can catch. Yeah.
Just a straight check, or yeah.
Yeah. Just a straight
Oh
dexterity
boy,
check
oh boy, please.
to see if you can catch. Yeah, you easily catch the pants that were dropping off. 9 kind of face palm a little bit, and you see the feline creature that was underneath the disguise of Raven Queen's priestess kind of says, "Go on,
Let him drop.
let him drop. It's fine."
I'm like, no. I'm awestruck that this thing. I haven't seen one of these before, so it's like,
Alright. Everyone, chill. Hold on. My names. Hold on.
this is different looking
Yeah.
than suits, right?
Yeah. No. It's not suits. Everyone, chill.
No, the race is different.
Is
Than
it tabaxi or yeah?
You are not quite certain. She looks kind of like tiger mixed brand of instead of normal tabaxis, which are more in line with the color of like brown and spots. She looks her furs are white. You notice that that's the major difference. And her eyes looks tabaxi usually have like red or maybe like kind of black pupils. This one has a green pupil. But beyond that, maybe it's different in like bloodlines, but you can't really tell for sure what she is. Maybe roll for an you know what? Roll for Arcana or History check to see if you guys pick up anything.
I've already said that I didn't know her, so.
Okay.
I didn't know her race.
Okay. So you think she's might be a subrace of the Tabaxi, maybe? That's about it. Everyone, Chola, meet Viking and Tully and Alethea, I presume, and Rivani. Yeah. And the feline creature, well, what you presume is a tabaxi, just kind of continues on and says, "Alright, no thanks for me. I know friends help each other out, but it's gonna cost you one day, 9. You know what I mean." 9 just kind of nods and says, "So guys, the main reason we shouldn't drop Raven Queen's name so easily is that things are not going so well lately. With Sovereign Solaris as well as Sovereign Blackfeather, there's been arguments. There has been different ways of ruling this country, and so to speak. So, as Raven, we are kind of the side of the Raven Queens. So, it's best not to be seen on the streets during daytimes. this country, this nation has its law, and it's best not to disturb it. Yep. And Nine just kind of looks at Chola, and Chola just kind of says, "Suit yourself." Oh, I think our business is done here. She kind of just gives you guys a look and just walks straight out of the door, just like,
Thank you.
you know where to find me. Yeah. Nine just kind of nods and just, so she left. All right. So.
When she says that, the first thing that comes to mind is probably scratching up somebody's furniture in someone's house.
Yeah, maybe. That's one possibility. And like, Alethea kind of has this mixed look of confused and kind of not understand, like a pure look of what is happening look, what is happening to my home look, and on her face, and she just kind of moved towards Nine and says, "Do you know something about what is happening of this country?" Nine just kind of nods and says, I will share the details, but I don't think your friends have any more time to wait. Let me make contacts with someone. In the meantime, you guys should rest and find. Well, if you guys could do me a favor, he looks at you guys and just continues saying, there is this place in the common ground. Oh, sorry, we refer to where we are right now, the common ground. That is one of the 5 districts. One of the 6 districts we're in. So this is the place where people come around, like gather, bargain, and everything else in between. Merchants. There are loads of merchants in this place, so. Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure out something. Can you all help me find a guy that is the major contact of the local guild? He looks at you guys, just kind of waits for your response.
Yeah, no. If as long as you have someone from the vineyard, of course.
All right. That will be helpful for her. Find Commander Knox. Just find him. You can probably see him somewhere near the marketplace. He's currently on patrol, I believe. If you find him, you'll know what to do next. Right. In the meantime, I have some other contacts I need to gather in order to help your friends. And he looks down at Lavinia with concern, and he says, "I don't think she has any more time." Yeah, and he just kind of quietly nods at all of you and just starting to walk out of the door. Ravani actually is gonna say, "So, Nine, can I accompany you? I mean, I want to see a little bit more about this place." Nine just kind of nods and says, "But you have to stay real close. No wandering off." And Ravani just nods, kind of continues nodding, just like, yes. Guys, I hope you're going on a sightseeing. And
Have fun.
yeah, Nine just walks out of the door with Ravani. What are you guys doing at this moment?
Shopping.
All right. Alethea. No
Oh, sorry.
longer-
Did I hesitate?
Shopping. Alethea kind of looks. Gives you a
If you want to stay
glare.
here with her,
Yeah.
that's totally fine.
Lydia just kind of glares at Viking and then pause for a second and then says, "Well, since we're still going to the marketplace, I see. Well, we need to focus on the mission, but maybe a little bit uh, shopping could be done along the way."
She's safe here. We need the supplies.
Yeah. All right. All right. I guess we'll be going. Yeah. And she just leads you guys out. All right. Follow me. And she leads you guys out to the marketplace. Sorry. Moving you guys back to the city. So you walk along the streets. Like I said, you see clockwork automatons like almost everywhere. Some of them looks really intriguing. Some of them looks like just normal bulkish kind of golem looking stuff. But all of them are like, to your surprise, are probably sentient because they understand the people that are walking past them. They kind of nods and like serves them whatever they needs. Give them aids if they're like asking the proper automaton. So yeah, they just kind of nods and like towards you and just continue on whatever it is they're doing. People on the street seems, like I said before, people on the street seems to be celebrating something. You see banners flying up in the skies with a really weird symbol of one intertwined like sun mixed with feathers. The sun symbol on the back looks extremely familiar. Yeah, with the one Viking has on his back, on the back of his hand. Yep. Yeah. So yeah,
This
you
this
walk.
festival day, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Alicia and see if she knows.
She's like, what? What do you mean?
Procession with the banners. They're celebrating
The
something.
banners. Yeah, definitely. It's celebrating the two kings. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot. You never been here before.
No,
Sorry, I
sweetie.
always presume you. My bad. But
That's
but
okay.
all right, this has a long way back. The story begins with the two kings. Like I said, like what you guys just heard, Sovereign Solaris as well as Sovereign Blackfeather. They are the founding father and the rulers of this land. They were not blood. They were not biologically brothers, but they were. Their relationship is thicker than blood. So, this festival we're having right now, it's called Celebration of the Disophilus Sovereigns, or in short, Gemini Festival. A 12 days long break where everything is celebrated in two as a sign of good luck and blessing from both of the sovereigns. They ruled this land for over 2 centuries right now. From the time they were like traveling companions, rumor has it they were originated from like far away lands, maybe in Faroum, maybe in somewhere else, but I can't tell for sure. So yeah, I'm about the third daughter maybe, if nothing has been changed in the process. Yeah, I'm the third daughter of the family. I don't know what my father has been through. He never really disclosed the time he had before with Leonidas. Dear sovereign Leonidas Solaris. He never discussed the time where he had adventure with him. However, yeah, they seem to be good buddies, and they're really powerful, and that's what brought this place to like alive. because they found this magical substance called ether, and I believe that's what your friends were made of. He suggested the 9. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the name of the 2 rulers again?
Oh, so Sovereign Solaris, I always call him Uncle Leonidas, and Sovereign Blackfeather. So that will be my father. And she just like smiles. Yeah.
I ask her, I'm like, do you know the last name Sunberg by chance?
Sunber. I don't think so. Maybe
Okay.
one of the hold on. Maybe one of the council members, I think. I think I once saw one of the members. I've been sent out when I was really young in order to find you and protect you. And
As long as you're not noble, because I might have to kill somebody named that. But you want to avoid killing too many nobles in your life.
why is that?
I have personal reasons. I don't go around asking you yours.
Okay. Well,
As
you
I like
kind of just
scratch
asked
my
because
hand.
you kind of just asked because this whole place is founded by my father. Well, not himself alone, but anyway.
Can you have him commission a bounty for said person if I get you a name? Because then it's totally legit, and then it's all good.
You might want to disclose more. Yeah,
Pirate.
we are.
Absolute
all right,
pirate.
all right.
And
We
nastiest humanoid you've ever come across, like worse than pawn scum, it needs to be dealt with.
Okay, what's his name?
Bree.
Bree? Okay.
He's
Is
don't
a
mind
he
him.
or she?
She.
Okay.
Bree is
Bree.
fine. Bree is
Okay.
a completely normal, innocent person who is
Okay.
undeserving of your ire.
Okay. I'm a little bit confused. What
She's
is that?
on my list.
Okay. So
He's off your list.
is
And then
it
I
Bree Sumber?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get the name correct. Bree, how to spell it? And she just kind of pegs you on the names and like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
And there was another psychopath, a mass murderer.
Okay.
I only caught his first name, and that's Vor.
Wait, you are not referring to Master Wonderstone, right?
Probably.
That sounds about right, yes.
Yeah, then. And she looks at you and says, well, Master Wonderstone is a trusty consultant of our family, as well as
Psychopath.
the
Yes.
wizards
He isn't
of
great.
the towers
We-
than himself. So
We had an unfortunate run-in with him. It did not end well.
It will not end well for him.
in that case, hold on. That would mean, did he make contact with you? And
Yeah.
Alethea pointed at Tully and
Yeah.
and just
Was real vague and real weird about it. Now I'm kind of understanding
what did
why.
he say precisely?
Oh god, it was
I'm
so...
gonna brand your ass so that I can track you for the next forever.
Well,
And
yeah,
I heard forever, but it was a month.
it was a month, but like he was just so vague about like. All I got out of him was the fact that he recognized me from something, but we never
Yeah.
got anything further. And
Okay.
well, I mean,
Did he say anything about a contract that he was
I just point at
signing?
Vakin, just point at his hand.
Oh,
By pimping
and
hands,
she,
like-
yeah, she lift your hands up, seeing the symbol, looking up, seeing the symbol again.
They're oddly soft for like such a sword fighter, but they're like
Yeah.
delicately soft. Like I've never used them in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Moisturize every day. It's
Yeah.
the rubber duck.
Moisturize.
It's the rubber duck that gives me the soft skin.
Mm-hmm. It's enchanted.
All right. So Alethea just continues on looking at your hand, the symbol to be precise, and she's like, "I never heard Uncle Leonidas have a kid.
What?
This is his family crest.
Yeah, he branded me.
He
I-
branded you?
Yeah, he's a psychopath. He needs
How
to
is that?
die.
If that's the case, that would mean, holy
Yes.
shit.
Psychopath.
Ali?
I'm like trying to like weed,
Yeah.
like seduce like
yeah. Just
psychopath.
continue. Just try to see if that works. I know.
Just like
Yeah. She looks up at Tolly and is like, the Solaris family has an heir.
Does it get me an airship? Because I'll call him Daddy if it gets me an airship. I'm just saying.
That is way too big for me to decide. I mean,
What, the airship? I'm all for a big
yeah,
airship.
this is our father's. This is gonna be our father's decisions, not mine. If it were up to me, you're not gonna. She just
I high five her for that.
shakes
Just like,
her head
yeah,
I'm like,
no.
Why does everybody hate me?
Yeah.
I have a small list of people that either want to kill me or I want to kill. And let's see, I have Bree on there. I have Vor. I have anybody related to Merkel, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm like listing off and it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Are you seeing why you ruling would be a bad idea?
All right. So I presume that this Bree girl is with Master Wonderstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that explains it. But anyway, so I think we have this sort of contract. It's magically binded by the ether, so it's unable to break, basically. So if Master Wonderstone is usually a guy really straightforward. So if he's vague about anything at all, it must be he's following the code of conduct of, well, the binding of the ether. So
Psychopaths.
That makes sense because Bree was trying to tell us something and she physically couldn't. So this is part of that contract.
Yeah, I think so. We usually used it to. This is the contract that was developed by Uncle Lenny. So he used this contract to form the Bastions, one of our greatest legion in this area, to fight off whatever it is that would possibly hurt us. Yeah, before this place was set up, this whole place was chaos, overrun by ether field creatures, and it is Uncle Lenny and my father himself formed the Legion from just a small group of adventurers and becoming one of the greatest legion of all times of this day. And they fight off the monsters. That's why we have a place to live right now. So yeah, these contracts, once they're signed for life. They're signed up for life. So yeah. I don't think I don't like, something is a little bit wrong from what your friends told me. I would like to go back to the palace, to the court as soon as possible.
Yes, we heal Lavinia and then we go straight there.
Yeah, but I think there's something wrong with. I'm just worried. Maybe everything's all right. And she just kind of shakes her, just kind of rubs her eyebrow and just says, "All right, we should go on shopping, I guess. This is a priority right now." And
yeah, but we will find out what the hell's going on.
All right. and she just continues on walking. On the other side, so Rivani right now she's currently with 9, just trying to investigate something along the marketplace. 9 is kind of in a hurry, sort of look, and keeps on like looking around, trying to find something. Maybe a sign or something. Let me check if Rivani checked it out. See if she spotted it.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if I'm an heir, and that person who I'm heir to is on my list.
Wait, what? Perception? No.
I'm just like trying to figure. I write on my phantom list. Whoever I'm heir to is on my list now. Just like.
Okay.
Just as you do.
So.
Just like
Yeah.
leaving it like question mark
Yeah.
blank.
Yeah, just like what I'm about to do when I'm an heir. Yeah, and yeah, Rivani noticed something as soon as 9 spotted something, and they all went directly into a corner of the side. We will discuss that later since she's not with the team, but yeah, she's spotted something, and 9 has kind of on track with his job. So you two are still like trying to find this Commander Knox 9 just told you guys about on the marketplace. You don't see just normal soldiers walking. Like I said, the automatons basically serve as the guards and the normal patrol on the streets. But you do spotted like a dozens of normal commoners that are like trying to sell or trying to bargain for something. You see these intricate designs of inventions. Ones you really never saw before. On one side of the market, you heard some guy just yelling, "Hey, you there!" and just try to stop you guys. And you see like a really just normal looking fellow with like decent robes and everything. He dressed up like a normal merchant with a card on the back. And just like, "Hey guys, what up today?" And you looks like you are in desperate need for like just overall redressing and everything else. Also, by the way, miss, may I point out that those boots, those are like 10 years old fashioned. If you would like, we got more intricate designs to serve your needs. And you can totally abandon the old-fashioned way and embrace the new inventions.
I just look at Allie and just kind of like raise an eyebrow.
Alethea's like, merchants. Well, they do have something interesting, and to be precise, your boots does look 10 years like it is a decade old fashioned. You know,
they're vintage. Sit down.
Yeah, maybe.
I like the way I dress. Okay, but I mean,
yeah,
I could
but girl,
probably
look at you. You need a new set of wardrobe. That's all I'm saying. Well, you can definitely share my wardrobe like we always did. Just when we go back.
Okay, all right. So you just want something nicer to steal. I see what you're doing.
She just laughs. Yeah. And the merchant, seeing you two are just talking, completely ignore him. He just leaps towards Viking and says, "Oh, big fella, what do we have here? Oh, a knight in shiny armor. Nice, but oh man, the shield, the sword. Oh man, you really need my help. You're desperately need my help. I can offer you a whole new set of this entire outfit. No longer need to wear this heavy armor to walk around. What do you say? And he just looks at you, just kind of a big smile on his face. Viking's like,
I'm just like staring at him, like I don't even say anything. I just stare at him, like, the fuck.
yeah, I'll take that as a yes. And he tries to grab your hands and just pull you into the store.
I'm like, on that note, just because I seen what's her name's reaction to the symbol on my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I intentionally like try and flash it to him to see if he'll like notice it.
He looks at you, flashing the symbol. He's like, "Oh man, you really should put on another one. You see, the black feather crest has been like faded. Let me help you, fella." And he pulls out like a pen, like just like a feather pen, and tries to put on some.
I backhand him. I'm like, "Fuck off!
Ooh, no need
Don't
to
you
be
touch
pissed.
me!"
I mean, see, like, and he raised his hand as well. You see the symbol of a sun, surrounding a pair of wings, a black wings. Just like, see, this is, well, holiday celebration. You know, we can't really show everything in single numbers. Everything needs to be two, like double digits, and yeah, you know. Yeah,
I think he's insane.
okay.
So I'm like, you don't recognize this or anything?
Yeah,
Like, this is
he raised
this is
his
a
hand.
family heirloom or a family
heirloom?
birthmark, right?
You must be joking. This fella,
He's
see
a
what a
practical
joker.
Jokes,
Uh,
my friend. Isn't he
yeah.
brilliant?
Yeah. Oh, we all know King Leonidas is like hasn't had an heir yet, but he will eventually. He
Of
will
course, and it'll
eventually.
be
God
the
bless
most
his
exciting
soul.
celebration when he
Yes.
does. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, I was hoping to get some free shit out of this.
I know.
Like,
I know.
over
I'm
to
sorry.
Ollie, I'm like,
I'm sorry. I'd rather not cause us. This would literally be the talk of the town.
just imagine I could have had you a bag and literally, like a bag of holding full of daggers, and you just like pull out a dagger and throw it, and pull it out and throw it, and like the bag is just never-ending daggers. Like,
Olivia's
ah.
like, don't worry, the merchants, they mean no harm. Plus, if you really try to trick them, you'll be the one who got tricked. You don't know these
I know how
common
to
ground
handle
fellas.
merchants,
The
okay?
merchants, they're so good at math. I mean, so good. You know, one time I was like just trying to shop around. I got 5,000 gold in my pockets, and it's like just the morning, and it's all gone. And I end up with a bunch of random automatons what I already have. I mean, I
They
don't
just
know
suck
how
you
the
in.
market
It's-
works. Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta be
Marketplace,
paying
yeah.
attention.
Yeah,
Oh.
so- Yeah, watch out the merchants. They know
Mhm.
their math. So yeah, you guys just continue on walking. Do you have a certain like destination instead of just besides trying to find this Commander Knox, where Nine never really gave you the description. He just said you'll know when you see him.
Well,
Amazing.
Tully needs weapons.
I do.
is
So
my
if there's a
concern.
weaponsmith, we pass.
All right, there are so many shops that sells weapons. Like the weapon shop that sells them. Instead of the normal types, you'll see like a sword and like a rapier or like a javelin or stuff like that. You see like blades filled with this crackling blue energy within. Nothing on the marketplace is simple. Everything needs to be like either fancy looking or either filled with like all kinds of colors. Yeah, that's the weaponry. It's just some are even too exotic for you to even recognize what it is. luckily, you guys have Alethea around, and she just kind of explains everything. Oh, that will be the Armstrong propeller, whatever the merchant's name, crazy name they say. Basically, it's a kind of a parachute that allows you to fly indefinitely. Well, you only need to replenish the ether once a month. You can fly indefinitely. Yeah, so yeah, and there are the weaponry. Oh, this I like this. And she like walks to one of the Smith store and just picks up 2 sets of weird looking barrels, like and she just flips them around and just looks at you guys and says, these are called firearms. These are really powerful. You can shoot yeah, until you hit the ground. Yeah. Yeah, these are called firearms. Well, ether firearms. So you can shoot energy projectiles to your targets, and I think your friend.
I feel like
I think what your friend had is something similar to that. And she just flips it around and shoots, aim at one of the target on the marketplace and shoots. You see,
I assume she's trying to aim for me at this. I'm like,
yeah,
like as soon as
you're just right in front of the target, the dummy, while the projectile zooms past you, and you heard a loud blasting sound, and you see the dummy just obliterated, just like parts all over the place. Everyone in the marketplace just like, one more, just yells, and yeah, and she just flips and do another shot, and this time I'm gonna try to. Okay, she still hits. So this time, just like the other dummy, just also blown up. Everyone just cheers when this is done. Like, yes. Yeah.
My ears are ringing. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, you know how
It'll pass.
there's something really loud.
Yeah. Yeah. You heard this.
I'm like, that'll help you with your stealth, Tully.
Yeah.
I'll shoot it once, and everybody's deafened. You'll be able to walk around in plain sight.
Yeah,
Oh my
so yeah, but these weapons require someone who knows how to take care of these to be taken care of. You know, they need to be
I'm good with toys, and I literally say that out loud. I'm good with toys.
I just like
Ooh,
blatantly
toys!
ignore.
You see merchants coming out and bringing out small carts, like, you know, the racing cars that you can just drag and they'll move forward. Instead of dragging, those are like the kids' racing car. Instead of dragging, you see the merchants just press a button on top of the car, and the car just starts like running around. It's like this is our
when they
greatest
come near
inventions.
me. I'm like, the first one to get within punching range is gonna get punched and kicked. And I'm like, whoa! Just like,
all right. The fellow on the marketplace is like, ooh, interesting. And they all raise their arms. You see, like 5 of them, and they just taps on their arms. You see, a sort of like a bracelet or something like that, or a gauntlet, just kind of forms and then emitting like blue energy shield, sort of. And they just walk right in front of you and says, "Come on, give it a try. This will test your maximum strength."
fucking right. I'm like, I am not responsible for whoever dies right now.
Don't worry, we
I'm
got
like,
protection.
Fair enough, and I'm like, I'm doing my normal thing, right?
Yeah.
And this is the fucking.
Oh, you want to try the fear effect? Okay.
Fuck no. I'm like the first guy that comes near me. I don't care if it's like a little girl.
All right.
I'm just like.
All right. You see a little like crazy looking gnome with a pair of glasses on his eye just walks towards you with eager in his eyes, just say, "Go, give it a try." Yeah. All right.
7.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was fucking like,
Yeah.
my hand is necrotic and like I'm just gonna punch somebody in the fucking face.
All right.
With
so you press.
I botched that, I guess.
Yeah, you press your hand onto the shield, trying really hard to force your energy upon the gnome that was approaching you. Instead, you see.
Oh, that's a nat 1. Holy shit.
Yeah.
My
instead-
hand hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. You see the rippling effect on the shield, and the shield kind of the energy kind of centers on the shield, and then it gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and then like 3 seconds later it just this great force of energy just blasts out. You were like blown. Like roll for a strength save. Let me check first. Strength save. All
14.
right. So it is not that harsh because you weren't using as much energy as
Yeah,
you
I wasn't
thought.
using a weapon. I was
Yeah.
just punching. So
Yeah, so
it's more magical than
you were
physical.
pushed about 5 feet away. However, you take you said necrotic energy, necrotic damage, right?
Yeah,
All right.
and I'm
You-
resistant to it. So
Yeah, so you take no damage. You feel the same energy feeding back to your body, but you take no damage. Yeah. It's like, ooh.
it's weird because the necrotic energy like swirled around my fist and
Yeah,
like
and then
produced
punch-
many wings, just like as it discharged, like
Yeah.
out my back.
It's like, good old shield. See, it's way better than the junk you're carrying right now. Just 199 gold pieces, and you can have it. Or if you provide us with similar item of value, say your sword, maybe. We can provide you with a better trade of the weaponry. See that one, like that must be a few centuries old. Don't even use a sword that might break in the battlefield. Trust our brand, and they just like raise their arms. You see, on the
I'm offended now because of like them dissing my sword and shield. Because semi-sealed fate is a pretty nice sword, and then like my
Yeah, you
shield
can-
is
on the side when they're saying like it's probably an old junk, you can feel semi-sealed fate like even with his semi-sealed state hums and disagree like you.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but my sword wants to murder you now. I'm like just blatantly honest about it. I'm like, I can't control it. It just wants to start murdering everybody here. So he doesn't like you talking bad about it. I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to kill somebody soon. And I like pet the sword like a small animal.
Alethea's like, oh wait now, these guys, they mean no harm. This fella, he's just joking. And she starts to bow in front of the merchants as they're starting to gather around, not looking really happy because they're like hearing a lot of death and murder and killing, and they're like, what? We're just trying to sell you some stuff. Yeah.
This always happens when I have to deal with merchants. I'm like, I don't do anything, and they want to start stealing shit. And
What?
where's my
We
money?
don't do
Where is my? I
stealing
like
here.
immediately start looking for my pouch. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit.
Last market we were in,
Yeah.
he got by a very good merchant. It's don't worry about it. He's just a bit
You
sore.
can
It's okay.
Feel certain that none of this behavior will happen because we got our trusty automatons here right now to protect us. And also, if you ever steal or do anything stealing, you'll be pegged by us, and the marks. It won't be so easily washed off like the marks we have. It'll stay permanent. So
One of
yeah.
the things I mentioned, I'm like, you know what? I fucking hate merchants. The last merchant I had to deal with is here in my bag, and I start rooting through, like I'm like elbow deep into the bag of holding.
Bag
I'm like,
of holding.
I kept that
can't-
fucker just as an example to keep you
Yeah.
bastards away from me.
Hold on.
And I'm
hold
like
on, man.
rooting in the bag, just like for
Yeah,
the
so
dead
you're
fuck.
like
And-
as you're angrily rifling through your bag, one of the merchant, the same merchant, the gnome just approaches you and says, "The bag looks interesting. And exotic. I wouldn't
God,
say old,
get away
but
from
it's
me!
like yeah. But really, you
There's enough
really
room
should
in this
try.
bag left over. I'll put you in there too. And I'm just like, I just start storming off,
Yeah.
like walking away.
Alicia's like, wait, and she just.
It's all right. We'll follow him in a hot second. I turn to the
fine.
gnome and go, you were talking about... So all the guards here are automatons. There are no people.
Oh, well, the bastions are people. I mean, we just replace the area with automatons, you know. As we see, they're more reliable than humans. As Commander Knox, he will know. Once
Oh, I'd love to. Where is he?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me check. He must be doing this, control. Oh, the speech. Oh, what time is it? And he looked past the other gnome, this time a female gnome, with a gigantic hammer on her back. It's a, like, warhammer sort of type. And she's like, oh, nearly noon. And, the gnome with glasses just says, ooh, then he's about to make a speech. So, you will be at the center square.
Center Square. I clap him on both shoulders. Thank you. Amazing. Ali, let's go.
You sure you don't want to buy something? We
When
got
I'm
a lot
back.
of sales going on. You can always come back to
Yeah, I'm like
replace your
as we pass all the short swords, I'm like, I miss mine
vintage.
so bad. Center Square.
and you.
I
you
walked
heard,
away with all of them,
Yeah,
the most of the
the
party,
momentum
just like stomping
just
off.
charged.
We detour and I grab Vikine and drag him
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah. So as you
God, I
walk,
hate
as you
people.
run, as you
Yeah.
all run away, you can hear the merchant still mumbling, just a piece, just replace those junks. And you heard the female gnome just kind of continues saying, well, they said it's vintage, which means junks, and we know people how
I'm
well
like-
people love their
I'm just
junks.
like walking backwards. I'm gonna burn down every one of your fucking stalls. I'm gonna come back and murder
Oh,
your
then
family.
it's great
Just
time
like,
to test our fire
"Ah!"
resistance.
Just like-
He's just like,
Totally dragging me
you're
off,
always
like,
welcome to come
"Ah!"
back. Yeah, so Olivia just shakes her head like, you can never beat the gnome in the just when you're having conversation speeches, you can never beat them. So yeah. Anyway, let's just go to the
Gonna
marketplace.
find me some boots and gnome kicking. Like,
Maybe.
it's not even a thing. It's just I made it up. I'm like, that is going
No.
to be
That
my
might be a real
gnome
thing. We
kicking.
got a gnome kicking cannon. there-
just like
Yeah.
advantage on kicking gnomes. Just that's all it does.
We do have a gnome kicking cannon that basically we stuff gnomes inside and just fire them up in the air.
I like it. How much? Just I'm
well,
not because I'm
one
like fucking
core
angry
is
at this.
about 200 gold pieces to go up in the sky. Basically, we just send them up in midair. The cannon was meant to give them like a boost to send them up in midair so they can gather.
So you can sell more firearms. I understand
Well,
because I'd
no.
buy a firearm if I could shoot at a gnome going through the air.
No, because gnomes are the artificers who knows how to collect ether from really high atmosphere. So we send them up to gather stuff.
Be easier just to shoot them down. As
He
I'm
just
like
looks at
still
you
angrily
like,
watching. Just
you
like,
do know one of
This
our
entire exchange, I'm
Yeah.
dragging him through the marketplace.
yeah. So you see, Alethea just talking to Viking's collar's been dragged along the way, just like dragging away, and he just continues saying stuff. But yeah, Alethea along the way just kind of explains why they need that, because mostly the masters that are specialized in crafting and all sorts of mechanical wonders, they are gnomes. In this playing, at least, like almost all of them are gnomes. there are occasionally a few humans, maybe elves, but gnomes are the top list, like kind of hogs the top list of all things considered to artifact and stuff, crafting and stuff like that. So yeah, that will be about the gnome shenanigans. As you guys walk closer towards the town square, you see like a small archway that leads to an opening. This town square looks sort of like an garden-ish. You see all walks of life walking around this place. You see lizard folks. You probably never seen lizard folks before. But folks look like lizards. And like dragonborns definitely just walks around, and dwarves. You see elves as well. Like almost all the race you can think of are walking along the path, and you also see a few winged figures that are circling and whirling in the sky. Yeah, like bird-like creatures. But yeah. That's about it. People seems to be just waiting around trying to see what happens. You notice that they all raise this banner of the symbol you once saw before, and also they kind of have separate colors. Now you get a better look at the banners and the signs on their hands and their face. The Solaris crest are in brown, in golden symbols, as the black feather crests are in dark black colors. So yeah.
As I am walking, I'm finally calming down a bit. I'm like, I fucking hate this place. Can we go now? Let's go home.
Alicia is calm down. We still need to find Commander Knox. He must be new. When I left, it's not him who's in charge. But anyway,
oh right, yeah, we need to fix your family there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still don't like this place.
That's okay. Once we're done,
bunch of hippies and there's festivals and shit like that. Why isn't there enough dead people around here? I'm getting angry because everything's all bright and cheery. It's
yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure a fight will break out at some point.
Okay.
This is us, after all. We draw trouble.
Okay.
And that's the one thing that starts calming me down is someone's gonna break out into a fist fight here. Just oh, okay.
All right.
Not that I'm that
I know.
kind of person, but I just hate this place.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's by nature, maybe it's by something.
Oh, it's because Bree lives here. I hate this place.
Maybe something deeper, but still, this place just disagree with you. Yeah.
Yep.
So you waited for about 10 minutes or so. As the sun rises to the middle, you see the sun shines directly in the middle of the town square, kind of like a spotlight, kind of hits directly on the stand, and you see a tall-looking man just walks up to the stairs. He's wearing a set of bright, shiny armor. However, they are a little bit artistic on the side. You see swirling patterns and blue energies just filled within the chest and everything. And the man, he doesn't look super handsome. He looks about 40 in his age, with a stern look and kind of a really solid jaw and everything, just solid jaw lines and everything. And he just says, "So, due to our," I can't bear to say this, but due to a possible situation that has happened,
it wasn't
we
me.
will postpone the celebration until further notice. And you heard the crowd just kind of, "What?" And everyone just kind of started yelling and "What is happening? We demand answers." You see dwarves
This is
in the
bullshit.
front.
I
Yeah.
punch the person.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
so
As the crowd
yeah.
starts to get
Like,
rowdy, we'll be like,
"Ah!"
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Do you hold on, Viking? Do
I
you
just like
punch
push
the
one person. I'm like,
in
this is
front of you?
bullshit. Why
Right.
can they do this to us? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually enjoy this amount of like
All right.
anger because it makes me feel okay with this place being a shithole.
Okay.
In
So
my-
you
my-
push the guy in front of you.
and I'm like blaming the guy next to him, just like to start something.
Yeah, the dwarves got pushed. He's like, "Oi, what is the?" And he looks at you and says,
It wasn't me. It was that guy. Just like
he looks at the other guy. That is a human being, like just like a tall stand, like muscles pumping on his side. He's like, "Oi, you!" And the man just didn't notice before he was so angry, raising like he's like, "What?" And oh, like the dwarf just punched him in the gut, and this punch started something. As you
Oh
all
my
see,
God!
the people started fighting each other. It's like, "You piece of shit! We demand answers!" And all kinds of shouting and yelling just all over the place. Roll me strength save. All of you.
oh
Everyone
god.
Roll for.
Because I want to use this to get our way towards Commander Knox. I want to use this crowd fight as a
Right.
way to dodge. But
Alright.
oh god, I'm gonna get hit.
Right. So, Alethea and you got separated on the like now raging crowd. Viking, you're like a pillar in the ground. Nothing can move you. You kind of take a few fists because all the stuff is so crowded, but you're just bouncing them off on your shield and your armor. It doesn't really hurt you. However, it kind of makes it hard to move forward and to find your friends because before you can notice that your friends are pushed aside and like you can't really see them right now. Hold on. Roll me a perception to see if you spotted them in the crowd.
7.
Yeah, no. The crowd is too messy. You are trying to find them, but you might be looking at the wrong direction because you can't find them anywhere. Anyway, Commander Knox is like on the stage trying to calm everyone down. So it's like, please calm down. If this fight don't stop right now, the automatons will go and break up the fight and like just they'll go on peacekeeping. And the crowd just kind of ignores him and continues on fighting each other. It's like,
I'm still
"No,
egging on him like, they're
we
just
demand
trying to oppress us. This is not fair. Rise up and kill everybody. Ah! I'm
Yeah.
like, as part of that deception, I'm like just riling up the
Yeah.
crowd even more.
Yeah, so you were just like
I'm not
trying
even paying
to
attention
boil
to who
up
I'm
the hatred and everything, like the fight. Tolly, you were pushed aside to a further location far away from the crowd, and then you feel something. Hold on. Roll me a perception check to see if you spotted what it is. All right.
I should hope so.
Yeah, you feel like a small, tiny hand reaching into the back of your pouch.
Catch it.
Make a dexterity check. Just a quick dexterity check. All right. It's not a hard one because you were pushed to one side of the corner, so you easily grab the hand of the kid. It's like, you notice that looking down, you saw the kid you once saw before, that were in, with the gnome that were in
What?
the Green East. Yeah.
Kid, what did I tell you? Don't pick the pockets of people who are better than you.
Or that will kill you. Or
Not
that
you
will kill
again. I was hoping.
Nice try, kid. Get better.
Yeah, I will next time. Now, if you excuse me, this is a chance too good to pass.
Oh, have fun. Don't get
Yeah.
punched.
Yeah, right back at you. And oh, by the way, you dropped something. And he pointed at the ground. Do you look?
I'm making sure that he's like not gonna grab me, and then yes, I do.
Yeah. He didn't grab you, but you think that he's putting something away into his pocket.
Then I'm on the back of his hood and just like, this is a pat down. Give me your shit back.
Right. He's gonna try to wiggle. You feel this slimy feeling as he wiggles his way all the way down. He's just like, doing like kind of a reflexing and like dodge roll. So
low sweep, he's getting
So he kind of dodge, like he kind of rolls up like a curve out like a ball and rolls into your chest. And then before you can say "you" or anything, he just wiggles away and just like, try and catch me, and he just runs off.
Damn it! I miss with a low sweep. I don't get his legs out from under him.
Roll a attack roll. With just roll pure dexterity because it's gonna add your modifier. Right. Nah, he's way too quick.
The crowd, I clip something. Just like, damn it.
And yeah, you dart off in the distance. Alethea,
I pat myself down. What am I missing?
Yeah. So you pat down your belongings. You can't find your figuring of the raven.
I'm chasing the kid.
Yeah. So, as you are chasing, let's go back to Alethea. And Alethea is like looking around, yelling, "Tolly, where are you? Annoying night, where are you?" Or whatever. This is hopeless. She just on the corner of your eye, both of you you spotted that Alethea on the top of the roof, just like trying to find you, but she can't seem to find you in the vast crowd though. Right now the automatons are already starting to break up the fight, which makes it harder for tracking and everything. Roll me a survival check, Tully.
Just on a side note, I'm using the Eye of Primordial to talk to Ravani. I'm like, oh my god, you should be here. This is great.
Yeah,
oh
Ravani's like,
so
what is great? What did I miss? We were
there's a fist fight and like people are angry because they canceled the celebration. I don't know how it started. It's just funny and it's the most entertainment I've had since I've been here, and it's great.
I will be with you. And you heard a noise, a sound on the back, and that's 9 saying, "Shush." And like just kind of grabs the calm, just like the Eye of Primordials, and he just says, "We will call whatever." Call you back.
As soon as he picks up, I'm like, it's not my fault. Just was the first thing. As soon as I see, it's not my fault. Just
we'll talk about this later. Right now, and he just close it. He just tried to grab it. He doesn't know how to close it.
Someone, this is not my fault.
Yeah. All right. So you pushed someone. Hold on. Okay. The big fella, the one you framed, the dwarf attacked, looks around at you, and he stands right next to you, right in front of you. He's about like a bit taller than you, about one
for a dwarf.
Bigger. No. It's not a dwarf. It's the human being who the dwarf punched. He looks like a barbarian. And he just lifts his gigantic fist. He's like, "Take this!" and punch you right in the face. Yeah. That will be. Hold on.
I have an AC of 20, by the way.
How much?
20.
Yeah. He rolled a natural 20. So, yeah. You receive unarmed strike. Yeah, you receive 12 points of bludgeoning damage right across the face. You feel your jaw dislocated a bit, like.
I'm so tempted to do something in retaliation, but I'm gonna
Do
get
it!
thrown in jail. Ugh.
It's like pussies.
Well,
the barbarian seeing you not
know,
fighting back, just like.
You know, my character, once you call him out, so once he hits me, I like kind of headbutt him a little bit on
Nice.
his punch.
Roll for
And
attack.
it's no, it's hellish rebuke.
Oh, okay.
Just like his
Hellish
hand
headbutt
fired
rebuke.
like fucking.
All right. So.
Not my fault. I didn't do this.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't start this.
First, roll me a con check to see if you headbutt him. If you succeed, I'll tell you the rest.
18.
All right. Roll extra 1d6. So
4.
yeah, you heard the word. You smirk a little bit, like you raise the blood on your cheek.
I
headbutt him
all
back.
times I have my hands
Yeah.
up like this. I'm like, so in case the
Yeah.
automatons got like, not my fault.
No, not my fault.
Just like
The barbarian is like, ooh, and you see the like fire kind of burns on top of his head, like, oh, on fire, and yeah, he just like try to shake it off. He's probably been through some trauma before because he's like shaking and trying to put off the flame right now.
and
Yeah.
like as soon as he's like, when he kind of comes around,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do another I'm like, it was the dwarf again. I like point to the same dwarf. I'm like, that dude.
The
He's a cast-
barbarian.
Just like-
I would say the deception will have disadvantage because you were right in front of him. But I'll let you re-roll.
Okay.
Because I said it later. So yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, disadvantage. So you try to light him. Unfortunately, you're right in front of him. But he's like, that's the least thing he'll care about because the automaton right now is walking through and just grabs the barbarian on the ground.
I still have my hands up. I'm like,
yeah. All right. I will say because you do that. I'll allow you to use the deception to the automaton. The automaton just drags the barbarian away. Just like.
as there's blood running down my face.
Yeah.
Like-
Please keep calm and stay down. The automaton just keeps on saying this over and over. For Tolly, the kids is running faster than you imagine, but your tracking skill is exceptional, especially in the small alleyway like this.
Yeah.
You still manage to track him down with, like, I wouldn't say ease, but like with a certain like grace in it. Just try to track down the kid. You follow him into a dark alley, and on the corner, he just vanished.
I keep
The valley is
barreling
a
it
dead
to where
end,
he
though.
vanished. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you don't see him because he was like 10 steps faster than you. You don't see where he vanished to. You just know it's inside this alley. Roll me investigation check to see if you can spot something. Alright, so
Nothing.
you look around. Unfortunately, you don't think you can tell. Like this alley, he must like leave through the roof or something because you can't really see where he went. Yeah, it's a dead end.
I'm gonna sit my ass down in the alleyway, pull 2 gold out of my purse,
Mm-hmm.
hold them up, and just go, "You give my pendant back, I will pay you for it."
A second pass. Another minute pass. No response.
Talia's really upset. Like it's visible. She's not crying, but she's like visibly ready to end the next person to cross her path. She puts her money away and just like.
As you put
And that's
your
when I
money
walk
away,
in front of you. It's like, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no.
No, you're still on the
What
town
happened?
square. Yeah, like, the
I get punched
automatons
again.
are pushing,
Yeah.
suppressing the mob, the crazy mob, and you're in the center of it because right now all the people are being pushed like aside, restrained, and Commander Knox is at the center. So for Tali, as you put the gold piece back into your pouch, you felt something.
I'm
On
looking.
your palm. Yeah, just inside the pouch. Yeah. So you take it out. It was the hound that you found before. The mud that stopped your way. Yeah.
I set her down. Lexi?
And once you say the command word, Lexi just appeared right in front of you. Just like. Yeah.
Hey, pup.
And it's not saying a word. Just
I'm
looks
missing
at
a
you
pendant.
and waiting for your command. Yep.
I'm missing a pendant. It should smell like me. It's magic. It was taken by a little boy that just passed through here. Find it.
Woof! Yeah, Lexi just the steel hound just starting to look around, and he looks like this. Hold on, I'm gonna put the token onto the token layer so you guys get a better look. Token. Okay. Yep. So he looks like this. Metallic dog, and he's starting to sniff, like look around. You see like his eyes like kind of glows as the moment. Yeah, K9.
K9?
Yeah.
Good
No,
to
it's
see
Lexi.
you, Master.
Yeah. Right now it's Lexi, but who knows? Yeah. So you look around. You see the glow in his eyes kind of shits two bright spotlight emitting from its eyeballs that were made of by rubies. As they look around, you see one side of the wall kind of reveals its true identity. Like the inner you can see like there seems to be an inner layer within the wall. You can't really tell what it is, but it's definitely not supposed to be there.
Touch it.
All right. So you start patting down the wall. As you roll me this time. Just roll me a dexterity check. All right. So
Bad day.
yeah, you pat around. You feel a rock kind of one brick kind of sinks in, and you feel like the wall kind of the mechanic kind of shifts, and you manage to open the door. But in the process, you kind of feel this thump and a gigantic fist emitting from the wall just kind of punch you in the gut and like kind of shoves you to the back. You take you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage and 2 points of force damage, so a total of 5 as you were like punched towards the wall and slammed. And you see the brick that was once about to move the entire wall kind of gently push back in place. Yeah, so.
Okay, now I know that's there. I'm going to try again
Yeah.
and not get punched.
All right. Lexi kind of moves a little bit forward, looks around. He's going to make his own investigation check. Let's see. Lexi. Investigation. All right. Yeah. He kind of barks at one place, going woof, and just
This one?
yeah. He pointed at the lower piece of the wall. There are another 2 sets of the bricks.
I follow Lexi's directions.
All right. So do you press it or do you just
Yeah.
make a feel of it? Okay. You press it. Roll me another dexterity
Yeah.
check.
And this time I'm bracing for a fist that I expect to be coming.
All right. This time you were like quick enough to press it, and you were quick enough to leap away. You notice that this time, instead of a fist emitting, this time is a kind of sparkling lightning energy kind of emitting from the ground, tries to just entangle someone and make them stunned. But this time you dodge out of the way, and yeah, so the wall moved jarred a little bit, but it's not fully open for you to squeeze through. So Lexi kind of puts his paw on the other brick and tries to make his own dexterity check. Hold on. Pause. Dexterity check. Dexterity. Oh no. Lexi, being the good hound as he is, takes the full frontal blunt of the damage as kind of a shattering sound kind of emitting from underneath. Lexi, he's still moving though. It just, the blast kind of cracks one side of its neck, so you can see the cracks on the statue. Yeah, the construct. But yeah, otherwise he's fine for now. Yeah, so the walls moves slightly ajar a little bit more. You think that probably all 3 needs to be pressed by now. You think that all 3 needs to probably be pressed in order for the wall to be fully open. Yeah.
Could I fit through this gap now, or do I need to open it properly?
It's a really thin pathway, but you can definitely.
I'll do the third one just to make sure Lexi.
Right. So you wiggle your way through.
No, I'll push the last.
Yeah. So you punch the last button. Roll me a third dexterity check. All right. You manage to dodge out of the way as the fist reappears. But yeah. Right now the wall is fully open. Yeah. So
All right, Lexi.
It reveals a dark passage leading towards, seemingly underneath the city.
All right, Lexi, let's go.
All right. Woof! Lexi just moves along with you. For switching back to Viking. So, now Tully seems to be gone out of nowhere. And seems to be gone to nowhere. And you only see Alethea on the roof. She's still eager, searching for you guys. What would you like to do?
I'm sorry. I'm using the blood for my forehead that's been bleeding, or my face. I'm and I'm playing it up so I can kind of weed my way through the crowd and hopefully get past the automatons.
Please remain calm and stay down. Automatons just kind of walks around. Please remain calm, and just kind of suppressing whatever the fight is still going on. Right now, the fight is about the fight is about to be over. There are still a few resistant individuals, but otherwise everyone else is kind of settled down and getting treated by the automatons. And as you walk near, do you walk near the center of the town square to the stage where Commander Knox is at?
Sure.
Oh, it's up to you.
Oh,
I mean, it's up to you. Which
well, I
direction do you
don't
want to move?
see any one of us, but I know Nox was kind of who we were looking for, right? So
Yeah. So you move forward. You notice that there are several automatons guarding Nox, and one of them just kind of moves towards and says, "You need emergency treatment. Please follow our lead." And he just tries to take you and to the other side for further care. What would you like to do?
I'm like, I can't move. I'm just like, it hurts too much, and I'm like,
On a scale of 1 to 10, how great is your pain?
11.
Ah,
Just really mess up.
yeah.
Moment.
All right. So he starts to the automaton starts to bend over and revealing a large pack of emergency cares. You see there are numerous items you can't really name. Normally you just drink down a healing potion or whatever, but right now you see numerous potions, stitches, like needles and whatever that are.
I'm like, I
all
need
within
this
the
one,
box.
and I need this
Yeah.
one, I need this one.
Yeah.
Just like start sampling.
Don't worry, sir. And like he is the one, like the automaton is the one that's pulling out. Please let us handle your wound. Do not move or do sudden like aggressive movement. Yeah, it's like just trying to reach into his pouch and trying to pour down potions or like lotions or whatever to cure your wounds. Yeah. So yeah.
As soon as he tries to touch me, I'm like, oh my god, what kind of monster are you? Are you trying to kill me?
Sir,
Because
please
I know
remain
what's his name
calm
is.
and
There, right?
stand down. And he kind of do you resist? Like he's grasp? He's trying to grab you by the shoulder.
I'm like, oh my god, he's trying to kill me. Like trying to get Buddy's attention.
Okay, yeah. So
you know
the individuals that are still fighting, including the dwarves, are like, "Oi, the automaton is malfunctioning." And you heard Nox is like, "Just remain calm, and they will tend the rest. They will tend to the wounded. Please do not fight over the automatons, or they will go on patrol mode, and everyone else just." If you're injured, please remain calm. And he just looks at the automatons that were treating you, and just like, sir. And he tries to approach you. At this moment, he's like, sir.
They're ganging up on me. No.
Don't worry, the automatons. These are the new models. They know how to care for, specialize in caring for the wounded. So if you remain calm, everything will be all right.
I just stand up as soon as he comes near. I'm like, I'm fine. I was actually sent here to find you. I figured this was the easiest way to meet you. And I'll just like go like this and wherever I'm cut, and I'll do lay on hands to cure my wounds.
Oh, okay. So
just to moment, just for effect.
Yeah. The moment you lay on hands and healed it, yeah, the commander, thankfully he didn't roll the 1.
I didn't start this though.
I mean he's trying to tell if you're
not my fault.
Like saying the truth or just trying to trick him. Thankfully he didn't roll for a 1, but yeah, he looks at you and says, "Oh, all right. We can talk about this later. Right now, I got an angry mob on my hand trying to take care of the people. The prison will be full again tonight.
If you need, I can help. I'm pretty good. I'm good at dealing with people.
Dealing with people for what?
Talking them down.
Right,
making them submit to my will. Here, let me help right now. Just make sure your demon machines don't kill me." And
all right, fine.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like
here,
roll up my sleeves a little bit. I'm like, back away.
Hold on.
And what I'll do,
he gives you a weird looking handle, like a horn, but something. He's like, this is a speaker, or so we called it. If you speak through this, they're all here. So yeah.
I don't need to talk to people. I just like snap my fingers and immediately darkness befalls the ones that are fighting. Just like
okay.
just like they'll calm down once they can't hit anything else.
Well, I guess that's one solution to it.
Just keep your men around the perimeter of it. And
automatons, formation 1, and
I know how to deal with this stuff.
Yeah, you see the automatons form 4 in one group and just stay stationed around where the darkness formed. Yeah, so basically that rounds up the remaining individuals that were still fighting, and once the darkness is over, it lasts for about 10 minutes. Once the darkness lasts for about 5 minutes or so, it just the fight seems to be over, and the automatons just walking in drags out the unconscious bodies that were still fighting with each other. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm like, does this happen often? Like, I look to him, I'm like, this is crazy. I just got here. Like, I don't know about these kind of celebrations you guys have. It's more like fighting pits.
During festival time, it's always people tend to get a little bit hyped, especially if you drink more than a few dozen potions or more than a few dozen drinks. Plus, we are postponing the festival, so that's bound to have some backfiring. Anyway, never catch your name, sir, and why would you want to find me?
Well, I had a couple of companions, and I look up. Do I still see what's her name up on the?
Yeah, Alethea is still on the roof. Right now, she kind of sees you once the darkness and the fight is over. She just kind of waves, and just leaves.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah, she just leaves. And
He's
in midair, she just vanishes and appear right next to you.
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, just she startled me.
Yeah, she's like, calm down, and go ahead. Whatever. Yeah.
I'm good at finding people.
Yeah, and she just looks at the commander and just nods and she suddenly do this gesture it's not complex, but it has a certain degree of elegance and grace in it, and just doing this kind of secret handshake style. And once it's done, the commander kind of eyes widen as he certainly realized something and is about to bow over, kneel over actually. And before Alethea just quickly stopped him before he could do anything else. He's like, we can talk somewhere else. I trust you have someone to take care of this mess. And Nox just kind of nods and I'll have my deputy tend to the job. Tommy! And he just yelled, and kind of like a young man in his mid-20s just kind of runs towards you oh yeah, yes, commander, and just salutes when he stands still. It's take care of the crowds and the mess, and I'll be talking to these fellows. I'll be returned shortly. In the meantime, I'll be in my office and just make sure the crowds are the troublemakers are thrown in prison to sober for a day. That's about it. I don't want any more mess. Do you hear me?
I haven't dealt with soldiers like this before, so when he comes up and salutes, the salute would be this. I'm I'm
you're doing this. Okay, what is this? Tommy kind of tries to laugh when he sees you are doing this weird salute, but Commander is in front of me, so he just kind of holds it. Commander is looking down, eyes narrowed. What are you waiting for? Go. Tommy just yes sir, yes sir. Automatons, formation 2. Yeah, and you heard.
I jump a little bit when he yells.
Straighten up, and just kind of drags all the unconscious bodies the troublemakers and out.
That burnt one,
Dodging.
I
Yeah.
seen hit. He started everything, and there's a dwarf in there somewhere.
Oh.
They started throw the book at them. Just
Okay.
as we're walking away.
I'll make sure to tell the guards to take good care of them. And Tommy just nods and like as the commander says it, and just goes with the automatons to drag them back to the prison. What appears to be. And if you would follow me, and like Commander Knox kind of leads you guys, Alethea and Viking, towards kind of a tall building with garnished, like with well structured cylinders and everything, and it looks really magnificent.
With the 16, I finally realized, hey, where's Tully? Just like
yeah, Alethea's like.
I looked at Alethea, I'm like, what happened to Tully?
I don't know. Let me check. And
I'm like, is
she's
she
gonna
still
make
fighting?
her-
Like
Oh,
looking over at the crowd.
I didn't see her anywhere else. You know what? Apologies, Commander, and if you'll excuse me, can you talk to this man while I find my sister? And Commander just kind of looks Alethea and is just like, is there anything we can help, Your Highness? And she just says, no, and never call me that again. You can start helping me by.
I
never
giggle when
calling
I
me
hear Your Highness.
Yes. Yeah. So, she's just like, I'm not my father, so it's fine. You don't have to call me that. And she just like runs off into the distance. Yeah. Before Commander Knox seemingly tries to say something. Yeah. And he looks at you. Commander Knox kind of turns around, looks at you, and says, did she know what happened? With a concerned look on his face.
I'm like, I have no idea really what he's talking about at this point. I'm gonna be ignorant, and I'm like, well, this happens a lot. I have a theory about we should keep our companions on leashes.
Okay.
And I'm like, I go into my leash like tirade about like just people like tend to float away, go all glowy eyed, disappear. We should have leashes. And like, I know how crazy this
He
sounds.
nods. No,
but like I'm
the
talking to
commander
the,
actually nods and says, sometimes I wish my soldiers are as trained as our automaton and as programmed. Trust me, I know.
yes.
Anyway, it doesn't seem like your friends know what happened here.
Oh, are
you know
you
what?
talking
We
about
can
this
talk
whole
about this
fight?
later when she's here, when she arrived. Let's just go to my office and let me hear what you have to say. All right, switching. That will be you guys walking to the office. Switching back to Tully, you're finally inside the tunnel. Surprisingly, there's no any means of light or any means of torch along the passage. You walk deeper and deeper into the ground, which somehow makes you wonder. You guys are in a floating city up in the sky. How could you go this far down into underground? But somehow you still do. And anyway, as you move underneath, you kind of feels the passage kind of narrows, and at the end there is an archway, a small archway. With your dark vision, you can see there are like it's a shade. It's just a gray shade. But you can see what it looks like, the shape and everything. You see the archway is carved with a few writings, carvings, and some type of magical symbols, like runes or stuff like that. Yeah, so nothing is like, there's no sign of anything else beyond the archway. What would you like to do?
Gonna make a mental note, like, oh, I should bring Ravenny down here. She'd love this.
Yeah.
And I just turned to Lexi, the boy, my pendant.
Yeah.
Which way?
Lex, it's probably the only way, but Lexi kind of looks up and looks down, left and right, and kind of woof, and barks at one of the kind of like a panel that's right in front of the archway.
I'll go over to it.
Yeah. So you go over to the panel. You see that there are like 2 sets of dice. The symbol looks interesting because
Beautiful.
one of the set of the dice, one set of the dice seems to be missing a d6. It's all carved on the top of the on top of the panel, and it seems movable.
I'm like flashing back to the Feywild and trying to. My brain is like, but on task.
Mm-hmm.
Tally doesn't get puzzles like this. She's just like, I don't know what I'm pressing.
Yeah, so you try to do an investigation. Try to roll for investigation if you're trying to figure out what it is, what it's doing. All right. It's really hard to tell. You don't think you recall any sort of puzzles that are like this. But as you are patting down, roll me perception check to see if you notice something. All right. With that perception, you notice a carving on the back of the panel. Yeah, and it's sort of like a button of sorts, and it's sort of like a die of sort.
Push button.
Yeah, you push the button. As you push the button on beneath the panel, you see that the place that was originally there's missing 1d6. It just kind of blue arcing energy kind of forms with each other and forms a like translucent d6, and that sets on the side of the 6. And you heard the archway kind of do this energy charging sound, and all the archway, the symbols starting to light up one by one by one, and eventually the path like kind of translucent blue gateway that leads, like, opens up. You can see the lights inside. What would you like to do?
Let's target. I want to go through. This is the only way forward. I look at Lexi to confirm that that's the, and then
Lexi kind of just woof.
Let's go.
Yeah. So you walk straight forward. It doesn't feel like, as the moment you pass through, it doesn't feel like any sort of portal. It's just more like this pathway seems to be disguised by some sort of magic. Until now, once you finish your puzzle, the archway finally reveals its true form. So instead of walking through the portal, you embrace yourself to be walking through. You feel like you just walk through normal gateway. Yeah. So yeah, right now you found yourself in a vast underground tavern of sort. You see all kinds of figures that are dressed in black cloaks. Like almost everyone
I pull
here
my hood up immediately.
is hooded or either mask or both. So yeah, you look around. The carvings on the walls may seem gibberish to normal human beings who are not, but with your trained eyes, you notice that there are, in fact, thieves' cant. Writings in thieves' cant. So basically, you see two, like a large kind of like not posters, but more like a board on top of the front desk. And the boards keeps on showing various numbers in translucent light. Like some of them shows up in red, some of them shows up in yellow, some shows up in blue, and yeah, those are names and prices. Yeah.
I'm going to kill this kid when I get my hands on him. I keep an eye out for my pendant as a lot, but otherwise I'm surveying the crowd to find him.
Yeah. So as you are looking through the crowd, the front desk that was no one there before, suddenly a translucent figure just appears right in the front desk and says, "Not so fast, this fine, sir. And since you pass our, gateway, you must know our tradition, and you must, I would assume you are being introduced to this location."
I'm new in town. Refresh my memory. I'm looking for a specific friend. I was left behind.
Okay. If you are skilled enough or talented enough to find this place by your own, then you deserve a chance to join our beloved guild. And he just like smiles when he says beloved guild. And yeah, he's just like, but first, entrance fee is for everyone. So I'm afraid there'll be 50 gold pieces for the entrance fee.
Oh, it hurts.
Don't worry. Once you fulfill our trial, you're granted full-time membership, and you'll get your fee back. Think of this as a deposit.
Listen, I'm only here for one day. Is there any way I could just do a temporary and then go on again?
If that's the case, one day, huh? Well, we do welcome fellows who are in here for trade and for information. Sadly, you're a single person with no one to vouch for you, and you found our spot. He sounds beginning to lower and lower and lower, and he's...
But I'm always looking for a new, trustworthy group. If you're those folks, I'm happy to come back with whatever I find in my travels. I enjoy wandering.
Mm-hmm.
And Larks has been, well, beautiful so far.
Mm-hmm. Roll a persuasion check.
Where is it? Oh.
Okay. He kind of thinks for a second and then kind of snap his fingers. As you see the shadows right now, you see the shadows that were looming behind you.
I send Lexi into the crowd, find it.
Yeah. So there were a few dozen figures you just noticed by now that were standing right behind you when you guys have the conversation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I just look at them and go, hello.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, the guy in the front desk is like, oh, well, I afraid in that case, we don't sell one of our members unless it's a proper price. And he's not granted for full-time membership. But, I'm afraid they'll have to be in contract. And you see Lexi tries to move past through one of this doorway and is blocked by this invisible like force. He just kind of tries to go in and can't. And the guy in the front desk just like, you know, young lady, we have rules here. And
please enlighten me.
certain rules require certain compensations.
Fine.
Or I have an alternative offer if you are short in, well, money.
I'm the stingy
if
type.
you help us with this task, you'll be granted full-time membership immediately, and the guild will try to help you with whomever you're trying to find. For free.
That is a tempting deal. This makes me fear what I have to do.
Oh, don't you worry. It's just sneaking into the Silver Council and just retrieve one item for us. No big deal. Simple
Just
as
retrieve
that.
it?
Yeah, just retrieve it. Don't need to kill anyone. We got topless assassins doing that, so no need for amateurs.
Cool.
But
Retrieval is my specialty after all.
yes, this specific item resides in the top council member and his beloved vault of treasure keeping. So you see, we managed to. He kind of owed us with his last contract, and he refuses to pay up.
I
Sadly,
hate those kinds of people.
yeah. Sadly, a deal is a deal, so he must come through, whether or not he's willing to. So here's the key, and he presented one key, and along with a papered contract. And he's like, sign this contract, take the key, go to the vault, retrieve the item, return to us. Simple as that. And you'll get what you need. In return, full-time membership, as we promised, as well as the guild help you find this person you're looking for.
Alright, and if I'd rather just pay, how much am I out?
Well, if you're not
I
gonna
don't have a lot of time.
yeah,
that's
if you're
all.
not gonna
I'm
take the
not
trial
my day.
and you're not the full member, you're not having full membership, your first time here, darling, that will cost you. That will be 20,000 gold pieces. We don't do jobs for free, you know. Especially it's one of our members. If what it appears to be, they are. Mm-hmm.
Fine. Alright, so the deal is take the key, find it, retrieve it.
Yeah. Take the key, go to the vault, retrieve this precious item. It's a golden egg. It's nothing. It's just
beautiful.
it's just a normal golden egg. But a promise is a promise. So yeah.
And if I decide my object is worth neither of these and I'd like to leave?
Well, if you don't want to sign the contract, to keep quiet and to do our stuff.
Dear, look at me. Secrets are my business.
We can't let you leave so easily. Yeah. Shadows begin to form on your back.
Boys, I'd love a fight. I really would, but I'd also want my item back. Fine. I sign the contract.
Okay.
But am I allowed to specify what's the terminology here? Because
yeah, you know what? Roll for let's see, persuasion. Roll for persuasion to see if you can negotiate a term that will not harm your.
What I want to do is to find the object, retrieve it, but I want to accidentally on purpose cut the clause of bring it back to them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hold on. Negotiate. Yeah, persuasion. Yeah, there's no negotiation, but persuasion will do. So, you bargain for a bit. Let's see. And
I want them to not notice. I want them to just think that I'm totally into it, but the fact that I'm just oh, whoops, that part about me giving it to you is out of the contract.
You think it worked? You think?
Sweet.
Yeah. At least that's what you saw on the contract. The contract is written in Common, Elvish. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite some weird-looking patterns of the paper, that's about it. So yeah, you signed the contract. No harm, no foul. And the name, the moment you signed the name, do you use a code name or do you sign your own name?
Oh god, I do have an alias. Let me find it. Thea.
Okay. So you signed. the mark just shines for a bit, and yeah, nothing crazy happened. Not like the sign burns on your hand or anything, but yeah. The gene on the front desk. By the way, it's a gene. Uh, it's a genie. So the genie on the front desk kind of roll the scroll together and just eats it, kind of, and puts it into his stomach. It's like, don't worry, it's just a precaution. All right.
Marvelous.
Mhm.
While I'm doing this for you, and I just lay out like the kid and the old man and the pendant. Don't let it be sold. I will be back for it.
Okay. So one raven pendant. Raven pendant, you said?
Yes.
Okay. One raven pendant, not to be sold. Right. Cool. Yeah. If we ever receive this contract before we are confirmed that you're dead and the job has failed,
Yeah. This is fine.
This will hold. All right. So, is there anything else I can offer you? Maybe
No,
a nice
thank you. You've been a
martini for the evening?
delight.
All right.
I would like to spy your voice one day. It would be fun.
Okay. That's cool. Well, if no further business, I have other customers to attend to. If you'll excuse me. And he
Good
just floats away. Yeah. So, that will be the part of Tully, switching back to Viking. Yeah, so you enter the nice chamber of the office. Sun shines past through the windows, leaving like a bright mark on the ground. He just moves towards his desk. It's a large, like really a town's mayor kind of desk, and just sits behind the chair and like gesture you to sit on the other side, and just like, so let's hear it. Whew, what a day.
Yeah, I think you really you could invest in a bit more planning.
Yeah, I've been talking to the council over and over. We need more automatons. I mean, I only have a handful of guards. The rest is the bastions, and they don't do city duties. I keep on telling them if we want to put down maybe riots, maybe mob, we need more automatons. But they never listened. Well, the
But
money
also
always end up in
someone
their pockets.
able to control the automatons better, because I got the impression they don't really think well for themselves. If someone were to oversee them to a better degree, it might help.
Yeah, well, Master Wonderstone always.
Analytical.
Yeah, Master Wonderstone always attend to, to keep the automatons functioning. But sometimes functioning is not enough. They're not smart enough to determine. Like sometimes I really wish they could just hand me one of those smart golems they invented. But no, this is too precious for a normal commander to be used. Anyway, sorry about me blurping a lot about.
No,
my
I
troubles
completely understand
Yeah.
those so-called smart folk up in their high towers thinking that
Yeah.
us low man with the sword and shield are too dumb to do anything but swing our weapons.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you and I are the type of people that make this world go around, and I'm totally pandering to his
That is what
ego.
I'm talking about. You see, all the orders, if not for me to control them, they'll be swarmed by this peasant request, and like commoners will continuously bug them, and they won't have no time to do their research. If it's not for us, they'll have no resources, none at all.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry about me just talking. What's the First of all, what's your deal with the royal family? I mean, it's not every day you are seeing a royal member just walks among the streets. They have their own place, So, what's the deal?
I have no idea. She just keeps following me. I think she's trying to steal my wallet.
Funny fella. I see you're the joking type. But in all
I didn't
seriousness,
do. Yeah, no. I honestly, yeah. I have a companion though that has been grievously injured. Actually cursed,
Ooh.
in fact, which is kind of weird nowadays. Generally, we don't see many curses. Um, I've gotten around, mind you, just like
Yeah. Judging by your luck, you're a seasoned adventurer, I would presume. Yeah, you must have seen a lot. Trust me.
yeah.
When I'm younger, I
Oh.
used to see a lot until this job kind of cuts all the chances. But anyway,
There's something appealing about having a job like yours where you get to go home every night and sleep in your own bed, have a nice bathtub and relax.
Yeah, true.
There's times where I've been woken out of a sleep and basically butt naked, having to defend myself. And the roads are rough these days.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
wild
law
lands.
is just everywhere. And if it's not if it's not here, it's in the Underdark or in the Fey realms. It's just like there's sometimes I want to have a drink and go home, go to bed.
He nods in agreement, like he's like, been there, done that, a lot of stuff. Yeah, wildlife is not. I mean, I'm too old for that kind of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just recently I seen there was like an undead dragon thing coming out of the ground,
Ooh,
out of a
undead
portal. It was
dragon.
nightmare. And I like start reminiscing about some of the adventures we went on.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
to your surprise, he's about the first one that's quite eager to hear your story, probably compensating for his coming of age and unable to travel. Yeah.
but
And he
my
also
character-
shared a few story of his own to you. Yeah. So.
specifically, I'm doing like big fish stories. Like the fish was this big.
Yeah.
The dragon was like the size of two
Yeah.
houses, and he almost like ripped my
Yeah.
head off. But then I just like rammed my sword up in his gullet, and it
Yeah.
was like, "Wah," like totally exaggerating,
Yeah. And
just like feeding
yeah,
into his
artistic, like modified
Flair.
for
yeah. My other companions almost died. They were down on the ground. I had to like. It was just between me and the dragon, like totally.
Yeah, just go
playing
toe
up
on
the whole
toe.
scenario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one time I deal with this illithid, and yeah, all my members just got hypnotized and ready to be sucked by the elder brain. But me, no, I'm the only fighter in the team who's ballsy enough to blaze in and just chop the head off the illithid. Crazy time. Those fucking mind flayers. Yeah.
Those smart ass wizards are
Yeah.
down convulsing because they can't take a hit.
Yeah.
Like it's such a bullshit.
Yeah.
Artificers, they're useless. They're just leave them at home.
Yeah.
Like they don't belong out in the field.
Yeah.
Just like totally
Yeah. So
going
you guys are
camaraderie with this guy.
like, yeah,
good
two
friends
of you
now.
just kind of just feeding each other stories, kind of like sharing, like a kind of bolstering contest, like, oh, I fight this, I fight that, and like,
Yep.
yeah, and it lasts for about a good 2 hours or so until eventually the conversation kind of comes
yeah,
to a pause.
Do you guys have any buddy that can remove curses like that? We have this weird poisonous curse thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I should really get on that.
Yeah, I'm a good fella. I used to save this. The story I told you before. There's one fellow in our group. He's a measly cleric, and I saved him a couple of times. Now he become this top shop bishop or whatever. Yeah, but he still owes me. So yeah, we can easily arrange that.
When he says
Dude,
cleric, I'm like
this
the
is
only good cleric
Yeah.
is a paladin.
Yeah.
Nah, just like
Yeah. Yeah, but what can I say? He's part of the Solaris order. Yeah, so these orders of the rising sun, I mean, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I got contacts. I can help you get into the temple. Definitely I can pull some leverage over his head and just, have him fix your friend. By the way, what is this curse though? We've dealt with numerous curses before. Maybe I know one thing or two about it.
is kind of we've encountered this little psycho.
Mhm.
I think his name was Flash, and he
Oh,
likes
you
to
mean that
point.
serial killer assassin who's
Yeah,
been on the top of a most wanted list for this whole time? Curse your buddy?
Unfortunately, he was able to strike before I had a chance to fell him. He's just fast, and it's one of those. Yeah, but if I have to face him, I'll rip his head clean off his shoulders, like totally going back to the
Yeah,
war
assassins.
stories.
They're cowards. Yeah.
Trying to assassinate somebody
yeah.
with no fingers.
Yeah.
Easy. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, are you hungry? So it's about 2 in the afternoon. Why don't we enjoy some tea and just talk this through? Yeah. You
Yeah.
can tell me more of your stories. I can share some of my own, and we can talk about how this curse. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, magics. Yeah,
When he says food, I like start rifling through my bag of holding, and I'm like, put down like a couple pounds of. I have like 20 pounds of fish. I'm like,
oh no! For the first time, you're having such a great conversation, but he's like frown at first time, like, oh no! Please, we have decent food, not this rubbish. For like foul.
do not say
yeah.
rubbish. I'm like, she will kill me, and I'm like, just like start looking around. I'm like, don't. This is the finest fish around.
Okay.
Just like
just for the first time when he heard
bed.
Yeah, when he heard you say she and acting so scared, he's kind of frowned a little bit more. He's like, okay, well, just get this rubbish.
And I like
off,
gently
I guess.
say, I'm like, I put like all but like 2 pounds of fish. I'm like, Core, girl, hey girl, you hungry? And I'm just like, does she come out?
1 minute pass.
I'm like, oh, thank fuck. I'm like, put it back
She's
in. I'm
not
like,
out.
oh, we're safe. She's like a psychopath. She'll kill everybody. She's like,
don't worry. You heard my story. I have dealing with psychopaths like her before.
have you killed a god? She's basically a god in a cat. She's just nobody wants to.
Cat? You were saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Why do I get this feeling you're not as? Well, anyway.
No,
just
we
get
have.
the fish.
It's not by choice. She follows us, and if we don't keep her appeased, she like, she shits in our bedrolls. Like, she just psychopath.
Cats. Yeah.
Yes.
Normal cats.
Normal cats, do they like? Can they change your appearance and do magic and stuff? No, she's not like your stereotypical pussycat.
If they're controlled by wizards, maybe.
No.
Does it have
no,
a
she
master?
controls wizards. I'm like, she controls wizards. She's that powerful.
Okay. So this cat is not one of your familiars or one of your companions' familiars.
No, we only have one cat, arcane user, and he plays with dolls or something. I just totally playing off the
okay.
Wizards are useless angle. It plays with dolls. Just
all right, fine. Don't worry. This place is.
As long as you we don't ever talk bad about her because she's
worry.
A
this place is magically, magic proofed. So,
okay.
We will be safe
just like
here.
Let my hair down a little bit. It's like, oh my god.
Alright, fine. I'll have the servant bring the food in. In the meantime, let's just talk business. So, what is this with his attitude seemingly dropped when you mentioned cats and like magic users and like being so frightful. Yeah.
Magic users don't bother me. God cats do.
Yeah.
Just like
you think you're talking sincerely, but you think that he's not He's not completely buying this whole god cat kind of thing. But yeah, the servants brought in some decent meal and drinks, and he just like looks at you to tell about the curse. He's like, so what's all of the about? What's the curse?
She's dying. You know,
Yeah, we're all dying.
won't wake up.
Yeah.
You know, I've done. You know, we've tended to her wounds, her physical wounds, but you know, even my divine power does little to alleviate her pain.
Mm-hmm.
Is this guy a paladin or is he a fighter? Because
no, he's a straight up fighter. You think?
okay.
With his like long sword by his side and like his plate armor, and his stories about how he saved measly magic users all the time. So you think he's the one that, despite like, doesn't really like magic. He gives you this kind of feeling. He likes it conveniency, but he doesn't trust it in combat.
I don't trust arcane users. Like, I tell him that. I'm like, you know, the gods bestow their gifts upon us in many ways. I'm just a conduit for their abilities or their grace.
Yeah, well, gods. I prefer man building up his own path. Gods may have their fiddling with our creations, but ultimately it's up to a man to take hold of his fate, create his own path.
And like, when he says that, I like lean forward and I look like he said it's warded. I'm like, but it's nice to be able to manipulate the gods' will. And I'm like, just a maniacal like grin on his face. But you can never replace the cold steel of a good sword.
Yes, that is true. Oh, by the way, I took the liberty of taking a glance of your sword. It's one masterpiece, to be quite honest. May I take a look? May I take a closer look?
Sure.
In return, you are like free to see my armory. I mean, and he walks back to the back of his like to the front of his office. So there is a long like kind of a long hallway, and on the side you see like one gigantic door, and it's bolted, and he just unbolts it and like opens up the door. You see inside like fine armories like that are put in casings and like glass shelves and everything. You see like armors hanging on the side of the walls, as well as shields, and they're all in various shapes and types, and almost all of them are like having this kind of gentle emitting gentle aura of various magical lights. So yeah,
and I'll be like, and like I'm over into the
I'm
like,
armory,
just like be careful. It can be temperamental. Don't insult it.
Don't worry, I've dealt with.
And he probably thinks I'm insane when I say that. Yeah. Just like,
yeah.
It was not happy when the merchants down there started insulting it. It was ready to lash out on its own.
Those gnomes, what do they know? This is a fine sword indeed. And he just kind of looks at it, just kind of giving it a nice look all over. As the meantime, what are you doing in the armory?
I'm like eyeing up pretty much all of his different armors, and I'm like, I'm guessing I probably see like, you know, leather armor for around town and like the wimpy stuff, and I'm like,
there are all kinds of armor. So all the armors you can think of, even the ones you don't know existed, are in this armory. This armory is about like a small armory that could, like a small arsenal that could kind of like supply a whole garrison of sort.
So I'm looking at the plate armor, because this is like one of the few things that like I never could afford.
Yeah. So the plate armor. Okay. Yeah. So the plate armor, the metallic reflection kind of emitting like a dark silverish light, and on the front there is a gigantic symbol of a dragon. It's a silver dragon, as you can see. The head of the dragon just embeds into the chest, and the whole thing looks alive. And you notice one certain detail, that is, some of the armors in the armory have dents, have battle mark, are battle worn. But this one, there's not even a single scratch on the side of the armor. Yeah.
I like, as he's looking, I'm in the other room. I'm like, I notice some of your armor here is very much battle worn. I hope to one day have a trophy room of my own to be able to show off all of my wounds of war and victors of battle.
Yeah, and he walks into the armory and place your longsword on an examining table of sort, and just like grabs out this magnifying glass and just starting to look around, and he just says to you, "Oh, these are definitely some symbols of a token of what the battles I used to fought, and yeah, if with your luck, you're probably, with your resources and connections." He said that in like open, like kind of not envious in a bad way, but more like just just feeling you're having good connections with the royal families. You'll definitely have an armory of your own. But yeah, in the meantime, feel free to look around. Yeah.
The plate, like, I'm eyeing that up now deeply, and I want to do a religion check to see if it's
okay,
like the emblem on it.
Yeah.
Is that a religious thing, or is that
In fact,
something else?
that is. You recall with your background when Merkel speaks of few of his not mortal enemies, but more like mortal enemies allies. So one of them is the platinum dragon named Bahamut, and this crest that's embedded on the plate armor's chest is the one of the famous order that were once lived in throughout Faerun. It's called the Order of the Silver Dragon. So yeah.
So I asked him, I'm
really
like,
famous. Yeah.
What's why do you have armor here of the silver dragon?
This one. He said that with seemingly a.
I'm afraid to touch it in case I burst into flames.
Tone,
just
yeah. And he just continues, says, "This one belongs to one of my family members. He was once a brave paladin who serves Bahamut in a foreign land that was accidentally, the whole garrison was accidentally got caught in crossfire and ended up in a weird land called Barovia, and he was died in the battle fighting against this hideous evil lord. However, this armor, this is about the last thing I can remember him by. Thank Sovereign Blackfeather, who somehow retrieved this for me, and I shall forever be in his debt." He said that in a really sad tone. But yeah.
I'm like, you can still sense the pride and aura of your family,
Yeah.
Emanating from such a fine piece of craftsmanship.
Definitely. This is the one that's built by the founding member, the founding silver dragon himself. It was made by adamantium. It was meant to be a gift to withstand any sorts of damage that's been dealt by orcs and evil creatures alike.
When he says evil creatures, I'm like tempted now. I have to touch it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like just kind of feel the dragon. Just
Yeah.
like, does anything happen? Just am I evil?
Yeah, so you get a feel of the dragon. The armor is cold. The only thing you feel is cold. And you see the dragon, the eyes of the dragon symbol kind of shifts when you touch it. There's no kind of
I look over. I'm like,
damage towards.
did he
you.
see that? I'm like,
Yeah. So, Commander Knox is still examining. Well, no, right now he's just thinking something in his head. He's looking at the armor, but he's looking past the armor, as if he's seeing his brother in the armor once again. As you touch the plate armor, the dragon the eyes kind of shifts and looks directly at you. You can feel this like sting. It doesn't really hurt you, but you can feel this stinging feelings as if you're touching a hedgehog or whatever, like with needles on their back. You generally feel that this armor is like, it's not fully against you, but it doesn't like your touch. Yeah.
I comment. I'm like, yeah. I get the sense from this armor that it yearns to be free and on the battlefield. It doesn't like to be cooped up here in an armory, just like
No.
all great fighters.
Yeah, but maybe I'll pass it on to my son one day.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, maybe. But as every father who has concern in his heart, I don't want him to suffer the same fate as his uncle. And I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe this is what a father is dreamed of, right? So he wants his boy to become a true warrior that can take on anything thrown by life. But on the other hand, he's always a worrying parent who
I comment.
afraid someday bad things
A
will
good
happen.
warrior can handle anything that's alive, but an armor like this will let him handle anything that's dead,
Yeah,
undead as
I
well.
sure hope so.
I'm like, and then I walk over to
Yeah.
him and my sword, and I'm like,
Mhm.
so, see anything like anything? I don't know.
So your sword, it's quite interesting.
It's good at swinging at things.
Not just that. It reminds
No,
me.
I literally mean because it has a plus rating. Like, it's actually good
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, not just that. It has a. Do you know what this sword was? Or.
I've been told a few things. It used to be called Unsealed Fate or something along those lines. It's a paladin.
Called Pale Justice.
Oh right, yeah, Pale Justice.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sealed its power, and it's good at hitting things in its current state. But I know it needs a little bit more honing in order to
Yes.
see its true power.
Yes. Unlike the Holy Avengers, this sword is particularly suitable for any fighters to wield, but only a paladin can unleash its true potential. So, to kind of break this curse, I would believe you need to talk to someone with a higher power to break the seal. Which luckily you can go talk to the cleric I just told you about. He kind of hesitate for a second, and he just continues saying, Lorenzo and I, we, despite the stories, despite what I just said, Lorenzo and I, we were close buddies. Though I often laughed at him at his studies and his obsession with this artifacts, he's still a trusty ally I would always cherish. Tell him I sent you. Tell him the sword like this doesn't deserve this fate of being sealed and unable to be wielded by a true warrior. I think that he'll help you. Yeah, and he hands you back the sword with care. He just take good care of it. Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, and he kind of just walks out of the armory and says, "All right, if no further business, I will have Tommy pass down the request, not request, the more asking for his permission. Actually, he kind of think of something and then pause for a second. You know what? Take this, and he starting to draw, take a sheet, and starting to write down something, and he signed at the end of it and sealed in an envelope and just hand it towards you. You notice that this is an sort of an invitation. He's like, so the Court of Serenity is about to hold a banquet, and so everyone of importance will appear in this banquet, and that includes Lorenzo. So just come and join the party. And
I'm really good at courts.
Yeah.
Yeah, just especially trials and stuff like that. I'm
no,
awesome.
not that kind of court. So they're more like the palace where the Blackfeather family lies in, and where they lives, and they are. So we will present the sad news until then, and yeah, why the true reason why the celebration is postponed. Yeah.
Two more things. Who does Lorenzo? You said it was oh god. What was his title?
Bishop Lorenzo. Yeah.
Bishop Lorenzo.
Yeah.
What does who does he worship? Do you know?
Oh, so kind of Nox gave you this kind of weird look. He's like, well, Lathander, of course. I mean, in this land, almost everyone worshipped Lathanders. I mean,
completely understandable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just wanted to make sure that we are speaking the right language, and you never know where those strange gods keep popping up in their followers. I want to make sure that I'm not dealing with some evil cleric or something along those lines.
No. We wouldn't be having that. Even Raven Queen herself is not evil per se. She just values death and life equal. So
I completely understand where she's coming from. She makes sense in my mind, because that is it's one of the few things in life that is determined is death, and somebody has to deal with it. I completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just trying to keep a straight face,
Okay.
The last thing is there any does the Order of the Gauntlet have any power here, or like any
the order.
representative?
Oh,
Because
okay.
technically I'm an Order of the Gauntlet.
You are.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
for the longest time.
Yeah. So he looks at you and says, "So, you are one of the members of the order?
I like
State
root in my
your level, soldier."
I like root in my bag, like my normal bag, not even the bag of holding, and I like present I think it's a seal or something that I have, and I'm like blowing off the dust, just like.
Well, did you put it in your backpack or the bag of holding?
I'm guessing it would have been in my backpack or something.
So
yeah, like regular. Like I didn't really treasure this thing because I didn't really want to be a part of it in the first place.
He looks at it and looks at you and says, so.
I treasure this with my life. This is my pride and joy.
Okay.
Just.
He looks at you. Roll. Hold on. No. Okay. He looks at you and sighs and like, young people these days. Well, I don't know what circumstances you enter the order, and I definitely don't know what they put you through, the trials.
It was horrible.
I understand you might have not really taking this to heart, but the orders are always for the good. So.
And my title is Chervil, by the way. Just
Chervil.
Yeah.
And
which is like grunt, I think.
Yeah, it's like the private, it's like private in military.
Yep.
Yeah. So he reveals he reached out into his desk. The front.
看传说中的 cos 塔
KAWS. Hold on, sorry, I just heard a bunch of like random noises as I open up the Explorer. So sorry about that. Anyway, so he like kind of reach out into his desk, opens up one of the small chests. Inside there's a similar token, and he extend it to you and says, well, as one of the member of the order as well, I grant you free passage of the city. Yeah.
Oh, I thank you very much.
This is
the honor.
He just looks at you and pulls out his hand. Don't worry, it's just a normal sayings when we meet each other. Is basically means you can come to me any times when you're in need, and we are in good terms, and even though we might carry different tasks. Oh, the tradition is barely known by the people here, but yeah.
Yeah, I tell them, I'm like, my travels have led us to some weird places where the fingers of the gauntlet, and I'm using a weird metaphor, the fingers of a gauntlet have yet to reach like the Underdark and the Fey Plains and things like that.
Yeah.
So I've had very little opportunity to speak with other members, other than my the initiation
Your trainer.
group.
Who is he?
Yeah. I look racking my brain. Hold on. Where is his name? I have it. It's in my notes. Where is Order of the Gauntlet?
Yeah.
Order. Here we go. Where I know that guy. Was that? Oh, was that weird guy? Sealed Fate, kinda.
Who is it? No, just kidding.
No, I do. I have the notes, and I just. Oh God, we talked to him several.
Way back, like session 1 or 2. It was like either Sildar or his best mate.
No, it was the human that followed us, Darren. Yeah,
it's a half elf actually. Yeah.
God
Do you?
Still alive.
Darren Eldermath was
Yeah.
his name.
So yeah, Darren is the guy who granted you the Darren is the guy who granted you the title and the initiation. You recall he said sorry he's not able to train you any further. Yeah, because also because you guys are always on the run and always doing something.
Not our fault.
Yeah, so he kind of nods and says, I think I have heard of him. He's a legend in his time. But anyway, I never get a chance to meet him in person, so...
He was a great man. We spent several battles side by side, and there's no other person I would have by my side in combat. We did do a few missions.
Members from the order are always like this. They're always trusty allies, and yeah. So, anyway, take this invitation. Find Lorenzo at the banquet, and then just send out your request to him, and I believe he will offer his aid. He's always a kind soul like that.
I'm guessing the invitation has like when and where it is.
Yeah, it's about.
I don't need that.
It's about 1 day later. Just
okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to ask
kind
him
of
those
it's
details.
kind of urgent, and once you get the invitation, once you pick up the invitation, actually, there's a small dot on the envelope, and a kind of a holographic kind of city map kind of shows up once you touch the envelope and the dot, and it kind of points out where you are currently and where is the location of where you're up to, where you're going.
I'm like, this is also good for my companions, right? This is like a
well, with the royal blood, they are always just welcome into any kind of any parts of the city they would like. So I don't see any problems there. Unless you have more companions, do you?
I do. I have 2 other companions
Okay.
that may
let me
do like
add
a
a
plus
few.
2 on here.
Let
Like,
me add a few words, and he writes he takes the envelope and writes a few words up, and just pass it to you and says,
plus
yeah.
entourage.
Yeah.
Yes.
"Don't worry."
Yep.
I will be attending the banquet as well, but I was going to, but apparently there are certain matters I need to attend to before people can release this news. Before the royal family can release this news. So right now, if you excuse me, I still have some stuff to attend to. So yeah.
I'm like, as I'm heading out the door, I'm like, if you ever want to get a drink and have another long chat about the good old times, by all means, I'm here for you.
Thank you. And back to you as well.
Yeah,
call Tommy when you want to see me. If I'm here, he will just he'll just let you in. Yeah, and yeah, you just walk outside of the commander's office and out of the city hall. Yeah, and that will be the end of today's sessions. Great job, guys. Not bad for a first tour of Lux. Yeah. Nicely done.
Not bad. I got into so much shit immediately.
Yeah.
What is wrong with
Yeah,
me?
what is wrong with everything? Yeah, just
Jesus, thank you. That was fun.
yeah, that was fun.
that was actually better than I expected. I was
It
kind of
was
thinking
amazing.
that you might just want to say, I'm done with this shit. I will just get the hell out of Dodge and find this kid by myself. But yeah, you kind of take on the contract. I don't know.
Like, but geez, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
But,
that's gonna be interesting.
it's-
Quick note, you read through the terms, but they are
Oh.
patterns. So, yeah. I'm just saying. You'll soon find out.
Oh
What's-
yeah. Oh, this can only end badly. It's so good.
Yeah.
What was the commander's name again?
Nox.
Commander Nox.
Knox. Commander Knox.
Nox. Okay. I've updated my notes. I don't like writing too many notes when I'm RPing because it
Yeah.
distracts me.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I did most of the talking this session.
No,
it's
it was
fine.
really good though. It was
Tony
good
also
information to have
did
because
a
I
lot of
was
talking,
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Did you expect?
Mhm.
I went from I did 180 from I fucking hate this place, and then I just started a riot. Just
The play is starting to get to you, and eventually you're just like overcome by it. I would say.
well, like this crowded area probably wouldn't be my scene
Mm-hmm.
because like Merkel's people are everywhere, probably get shanked, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in like the outlying areas, like smaller villages and stuff. So like all this fancy magic shit is just like no, just no.
You got
I don't like
reasons
this.
to be worried about these
Yeah,
like occasions, and so yeah.
and then it just made me funny. I thought it was funny when I started a riot. That
It
was
was
just
so
like
good.
I-
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I'm not evil, but I'm like.
Uh-huh.
It was
I did,
actually yeah, it was
I did
actually
anticipate
improv,
the
so
fight.
yeah.
Yeah,
You did a good job in facilitating the fight, so good job. Good job.
everyone saw I got a really good role in there, and
Yeah.
just
Actually, I would say because you two all did a really good job on role playing, you'll each get one inspiration. So
Yay.
just tend
yeah.
to put good use into that. You'll need it.
Oh
Yeah.
god. I'm gonna need it so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't really think it would be an easy way to get into the commander, but I was like, man, just let into there.
Mm-hmm.
You think some part might help about Alicia? Yeah. Sure.
Well, yeah, and
The handshake
Yeah,
definitely helps. Yeah.
it was just easier to deal with magic than to try and talk people down.
Yeah, true. So.
And plus, it's the first time I got to use that spell.
Yeah, really. It's been a long time since you ever used the spell. You
Because
usually
you
use
cast it
Yeah.
in the Battle Royale, and that's where I
Yeah.
remember it from. That's it. You've never cast it here.
Yeah, because it's an Oathbreaker spell. Like it,
Yeah.
you get it automatically. So
Why not use it? Yeah. it's
yeah,
really good. And
but
let me see experience wise. Yeah, because you guys landed in Lux. You guys meet Father. So you each get 300 experience. Not much. Just like because you already get experience for entering Lux. But
Yeah.
what are we at now? Because I have 2,300,
Yeah.
and I
Is it-
don't remember
same.
getting anything from last or 2 weeks ago.
you
we do that?
guys did for the adventuring into Lux, you guys did level up for last time. So hold on, let me check. You guys should be at level 7 right now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've written
And
down.
also,
I have,
yeah, math.
I'm at level 6 according to my character sheet. So
No, last time you guys should gain a level because it's like milestone breakthrough. So yeah, 20.
that could be why it doesn't make sense. I'm like, that seems like an awful lot of experience for 6.
Yeah, you guys should be at this before before today's session begins. That means you guys should be at level 7 before today's session.
Yeah, 2,300 is level 7.
Yeah.
So okay, that makes sense.
And then now you get extra 300 experience. Extra 300 for entering the for meeting several people. It's not much. You guys basically do just like non-milestone breakthrough story RP. So I would say, yeah, you each get 300 experience.
You
Later
didn't
on,
kill anybody.
yeah, no, not just
No.
killing.
Just started murdering people in the riot, just
Yeah.
like to rack up more experience. Be like, "Rah!"
Yeah, but
Take out a few automatons.
riot.
Rah.
Yeah, if you I would say murdering hobo would probably get you into trouble. But roleplay wise, I would reward for major story.
We have royalty
Yeah.
with us. She could just wave her hand and get rid of all of her karma.
Yeah, but for some reason she did not.
Yeah, and she
For
won't
some
want
reason.
to.
She never
Yeah.
came back. We were there. I was talking to the commander for like hours, and she never.
Yeah, she,
I did a
yeah.
Good job of disappearing.
Yeah,
She's
so
been looking for a
She's
while.
trying to look for you anywhere, so everywhere. So yeah, it's like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll soon find out what happened to Alethea and Tolly, and what happened to Ravani this whole time. She's being searched
Yeah,
for
she's
something.
been
Yay!
We need one more Eye of Primordial for
Mhm.
Tully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like everyone needs one. Yeah.
Like, because
Like
every time I Jenga, no one is around to hear me, and so it's just like, oh boy.
Yeah. When the time you need it the most. Yeah. Like no one is near. Yeah.
What?
But we'll see. We'll see what this contract leads to. And by the way, since you guys are about to have a banquet in the royal palace,
Oh, God.
I was thinking, I
might
need new
have
clothes.
a chance to fulfill your contract. Might.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy for me to steal that, and we need to dress up and be fancy. Like,
Yeah.
oh boy.
I gave away my what was it, clothing of Buzz Killington. Like, this is the opportunity.
Yeah, this is the opportunity to use it, but you don't have it. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you guys will probably find something in the marketplace that would suit your need.
I'm just gonna insist. I'm going like this, like in my armor, just like, no, this is me.
Yeah, but
Especially, I'm like,
maybe.
I have to bring this sword to talk to the bishop. It's gonna look weird if I don't have my armor. Like,
Yeah.
that's his rationale behind it. It's gonna look stupid without the armor.
Not necessary. Usually
No, I know, but
nobles do, yeah.
that's his
That's
thought
his
process
thoughts, I
behind it.
know.
Who carries a sword without armor? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Even though he's like really smart,
Yeah.
this was like,
Man. All right, nicely done.
I
Good
feel
job,
like my
Pablo.
character's developed into kind of a comedical idiot that
But I think
tends
it's
to get
actually,
shit done, which is funny.
Yeah. I think
Uh-huh.
he's actually doing well. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
I think that Vikings development is one of the interesting things I've never foreseen, because it's like you follow your own path, and that is good. That is good.
He started off very sterile,
Yeah.
and then because we had nobody to really take charge, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take charge. And now it's because I'm just like, I think Ravani is the exact opposite. He
Yeah,
is
the rational
super
type,
serious,
yeah.
rational, whereas like, I'm going to be that guy that
Mhm.
is going to,
Yeah.
knock over the outhouse. Like that's
Just
Yeah.
impulsive 101. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's so good
Yeah.
because you're both comic relief and hyper competent. It makes
Yeah.
such a good matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tully serves
Especially
as
when I
the-
can bullshit
yeah, the
my way
supportive
through
type.
stuff.
I'm in the middle, just like, oh
Yeah,
my
just like,
god.
everyone just stay still. Just be balanced. Let me balance this out. Yeah.
You have this great balance of being an enabler for me and then rational to like walk like grab me and walk me away
Yeah.
from bad situations.
Yeah.
And it's just this perfect, yeah.
Everyone's doing a good
And I
job.
know like I'm
Mhm.
not generally I won't fight you if you're like dragging me away because it's like
No, yeah.
just, like let me kill somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes, we'll point you in that direction at some point. It's just not.
Yeah, you'll be unleashed. The beast will be unleashed later on,
Mhm.
but not now.